Mr. Young and Foreign.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
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 Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Hey, Kick to the Gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the Gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
How are we doing today on this rainy? The weather is crazy, bro. It's been raining every day. But we're not here to talk about the weather. No, we're here to talk about more interesting things, aren't we? It's Mr. Young.
And it's far in the building, bro. The
What's
weather
up?
is affecting my internet connection as usual. What's new?
Blame it on the weather. Blame it on Mother Nature. But how are
Yeah,
you, man? How are you? Post WrestleMania, sort of a funk, I guess. I don't know. To be honest, this past week's wrestling, I've kind of paid attention. Like, I've watched it, but I also don't remember much of it. It's like I tried to distance myself away and not think too much about wrestling because we've had a very, very busy week last week before WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, okay, weather delay aside, because this is giving me WrestleMania vibes with this weather currently that we are in. But I mean, I have been detoxing. It's been the start of the fasting month, so
Yes.
I have that to contend with. And also, you know, okay, for me last time there used to be a tradition.
Yep.
You know, the post WrestleMania Raw is always like the most happening of the year because there's all these crowds from everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know, they go crazy and they make the shows really, really fun.
Yeah.
I was just watching something on Cultaholic or Parts Fun Known, their YouTube channel. I think they were ranking like the best post WrestleMania Raws since 1993, since Raw started, right? And like when I was for some reason they ranked number one the 2013 Raw. So I was like very curious. 2013, like that never really stood out in my memory.
Yeah,
so I
what
was
happened?
like, okay, I'm just gonna check it out and you know see what was the thing that was so noteworthy about the show.
Yeah.
And I realized, holy crap, a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know,
we
you
had,
talk
like,
about the
yeah.
whole vibe of the Raw after WrestleMania. You expect surprises, returns. This year, like nothing happened like that.
Yeah, because I dare say the people who return, they think that you know they are over, they are a big deal. But for us, it's like Charlotte Flair, okay, you know, Viking Raiders, okay.
Yeah, right. Well,
You know, so we had lah.
well, there was that huge, main event happening where Mace and T-Bar, I guess they didn't go back to NXT. Dijakovic and Dio Madden didn't go back to NXT. They stayed on Raw, but they're now part of the Hurt Business. Who knows? We'll have to find out next week on Raw.
Bro, we have gone from Brock Lesnar debuting on the Raw after WrestleMania to T-Bar and Mace.
The Retribution Part 2, the Hurt Business. And remember they had the whole feud with the Hurt Business for the longest time?
Yes, they did.
So,
Well-
you know what it is? You know what I feel like these writers are doing? They're like,
What?
okay, let's take the two horses. Because they obviously see Ali no up. I'm sorry. We all know how talented Ali is. But they look at Ali, they don't see like a marketable horse or anything, right? Doesn't it feel like that? Yeah, doesn't it feel like that?
It feels like they gave him the ball to run with Retribution and they gave up on him.
Yeah, and then
As
so
soon-
they decided in their mind, let's. This is not my thoughts. This is me being a writer. Let's take the two big horses and put them with and replace the two smaller fellas in the Hurt Business.
Bro, this explains what happened to Slapjack lah. Because
Oh,
Slapjack
yeah,
is
small.
nowhere to be seen after this.
Yeah. So essentially, what you have now in the Hurt Business is all the horses in one faction. From the two factions, they culled all the cruiserweights. Cruiserweight all go to 205 Live and main event, and they just filled it out with horses. This is the horse business.
Okay, so Mace is technically, not technically, he is a black guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay, still can fit a bit. So does this make Dominic Dijakovic the Owen Hart of the Hurt Business?
Yes, Owen Hart, Crush. We're referencing the Nation of Domination, obviously. Before we do anything, though, we want to give a big shout out to everyone who's in the chat right now. If you're listening to this going, what chat? We do the show, the podcast, on a live stream now on Mondays, noontime on YouTube. So follow us on our YouTube channel, Kick to the Gut. What's up, Lavin? What's up, Div Royalty? How y'all doing?
Hey, Hey guys, do you guys prefer this timing? Please say on the chat, like, is this timing better to you than a Friday? Because we seem to find that Fridays, like, people always like kind of busy, preparing for their weekends.
That's true.
So maybe
that's
the
true.
start of the week, starting your week with Kick to the Gut, is it better?
That's right. Let us know. Lavin says the sky is crying for the firing.
Yes. We're going to talk about that.
Not only are we going to talk about the recent firings, which very strangely they did on the exact same day last year. McMahon 415 says, "You're fired."
Bro, this is gonna be the Black Friday of every year for WWE.
Yeah, because
415 guys, 415.
Yeah, for WWE is they cut costs, they save on money. So
yeah.
That's the Black Friday.
I was just reading some dirt sheets, the things that I usually do, and then apparently, this is one of the big first big moves of our new talent relation head. Apparently, they have a new name for it right now.
Why is that?
Like strategic division or some crap, something that sounds like Shield.
Sure.
But basically, Mark Carrano got replaced by a returning John Laurinaitis.
People
and
power.
This is one of his first big edicts, as the head of this new division.
Oh dear.
Cutting costs.
And stepping on toes left, right, and center again. Wasn't he not very liked back, in his first run as?
He's the guy that replaced JR as head of talent relations. So
And
it's
everyone-
like Michael Cole trying to walk in JR's shoes. Like no one's gonna like the next guy.
But Michael Cole, I think he stepped up and he really filled those shoes, right? John Laurinaitis, I don't think ever was respected. Oh, I mean, maybe he is respected in the business, but he wasn't liked.
It's weird because they made all the WCW talent that came over to WWE during the invasion into the head of backstage people, they got really, really big cushy roles. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what have they ever done in the business?
Wow, I mean, maybe, you know how it is, some people can teach but they can't do, and vice versa, some people can do but they can't teach. It could be something like that. So you talk about these WCW talents who may come in and they might be really good teachers, like Hugh Morris, for example, or Albert, aka Bloom, right? Yeah, Tensai. Matt Bloom, yeah. But maybe on screen they never reached the heights that they could have. Maybe they're just teachers, not doers.
I was just thinking, like, if Bret Hart really signed that 20-year contract, what would he have been doing right now? Would he be like the Arn Anderson, like the backstage road agent?
Maybe.
I think it would be really cool to have a Bret Hart backstage all the time.
To put people in sharpshooters, huh?
Yes, and put people in their place.
Maybe that could be it. So, in any case, anything from this week other than the new horse business stand out to you, really?
Yeah, I was just telling you before we went on air, right? That of all the shows that I watched, I mostly eyeballed the shows and checked the results. But the one show that actually sat through the whole thing was Smackdown.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because when we were doing the podcast, Smackdown always kind of misses our. Is that in that period between our show, you just released it, and then like by the time we want to review it 1 week later, it's a bit like bossy, like okay, old news already, right? So in the lead up to this episode, I was okay, I'm gonna check out Smackdown, and you know what, Smackdown is still, in my opinion, a very easy watch.
Yeah, because it's a nice 2 hours. It's not a 3-hour show.
But you can say the same thing for AEW Dynamite. It's very hard to sit through Dynamite right now. So.
Okay, like to be fair though, I found this episode of Dynamite quite watchable in that finally things are falling into place. Okay, the main event stars. The mid card and below, it's still bullshit lah. Like random matches. Somebody on my Discord sent me a list of some of the matches that are happening on AEW Dark Elevation. I'm like, what business do any of these wrestlers have facing each other? It's like main event guy, jobber. Main event guy, jobber. Main event guy, it's like, what is this? Like WWE Superstars lah. Like know that they are just there to lose.
This seems like a very old school type of booking. Like they will only show the stars beating jobbers only.
Yes. And in hopes of getting the jobbers over, like, the jobbers have a good showing or whatever the case may be. Yeah. It doesn't make me want to watch Elevation Dark at all.
Of course.
Like I have no interest. And people keep telling me, it's like, hey, you should at least watch one episode. I will at some point. I will. God damn it, I will. But back to Dynamite real quick. I like the Inner Circle stuff. The whole thing where he's pandering to Mike Tyson, Chris Jericho pandering to Mike Tyson feels a little bit like, okay, whatever. But I'll take it. Because now you got your huge face faction. You got the Pinnacle, which is a huge heel faction. You have another heel faction, the Elite. And the Young Bucks coming out to wearing their Dior Nikes or whatever, like how much are those shoes worth? Thousands and thousands?
I have no idea, but they sound and they look pretty like it's those kind of fake tie rich, you know.
Oh my
Not
god,
legit
they
rich.
are so douchey. It's perfect. I actually might like them now that they are embracing, because you see, and okay, maybe as someone who's slightly older, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sure.
guess. Yes, this is the part where I go off on the Young Bucks. Maybe as someone slightly older, and I think we've talked about this before. They've always had this aura of, yeah, we know better. Yeah, we are the cool kids, right? That rubs me the wrong way, but maybe the younger generation, they enjoy, because the younger generation, they don't really care for these long, drawn-out storytelling matches. They just want spot. That's why they're spot monkeys.
Yeah.
But now that they're embracing this, yeah, we do know better. We are better. Look at my shoes. They are worth tens of thousands of dollars and I'm wrestling in them. You know, and then they join up with the very hateable Don Callis, Good Brothers, and Kenny Omega, who's doing very well, I feel, as a heel. Yep. You know what? I actually now am, based on 1 week, enjoying the Young Bucks.
Obviously,
What's going on?
You just shocked the internet, bro.
Their style of working still needs work, because they are still doing flippy floppy shit, and as heels they need to tone it down and be more cerebral about it lah.
Okay, you know why I think like suddenly you're enjoying them, because finally they have become aware of their punchability.
Yes.
And they are giving you permission to hate them openly.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Oh, they're annoying. But see, it's very weird, because now that they've embraced it, it's like you like them. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, you know what? I think it's just human nature.
It is.
The moment we stop caring, right, about people, right, and they were like, hey, this guy like cool only.
Yeah.
Annoying, you know.
And then now the other way around. The Shadow says Dark, AEW Dark is the catering division.
Oh my god, bro. Comment of the week so far. Bro. Comment of the week.
Difficulty say, I just forward to the people who I want to watch, like Big Swole and Penta. Okay, on AEW Dark.
Okay, so the ones who are, make their matches watchable.
Yeah, like you can tell that is their strategy, is to put the big names there in hopes of catching like fans. Like, oh, I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. I don't know who says that, but there's probably 3. Anyway, I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. I'll tune into Elevation Dark. You know?
Okay, like for me, right, I will watch it if Christian, because there was one episode I think Christian did just a random run in or like any sort of appearance. I will watch if John Moxley is there, because I'm thinking like, why the hell is John Moxley there?
But
I'm just gonna watch out of curiosity.
Wasn't he? He had a jobber match lah. He beat up some push muck.
Yes, he did. He did.
Speaking of Christian, by the way, he is now in a feud with Team Taz, who apparently are feuding amongst themselves. What do you think of Christian and Team Taz?
Well, there's no history to speak of that I'm aware of, at least, right? But I like that Christian is this he's this respected veteran and is addressed on screen.
Yeah,
but he's also not being like shoehorned into the main event straight away. He's earning his way up. I kind of like that story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me just read one more comment by Div Royalty. Instead of Raw Underground, they should have called it Raw Catering.
Oh dear God, Div Royalty, your comments also.
Hey. The burns today, we need some burn cream. Yeah, so I feel like maybe AEW is picking up steam now, which is good. It's great that they are, coming out with interesting storylines and
also very interesting, Mr. Young, because you brought up the 1 week that you're starting to enjoy AEW Dynamite. Suddenly they get 1.2 million viewers.
Hey.
I mean, also that the fact that it's unopposed could be a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe all those fans that supposedly were NXT viewers, the moment NXT went to a different day, those fans stayed behind and just watched AEW.
Yeah lah, got time up, because wrestling fans will watch wrestling no matter what it is. And as long as they sort of improve their product and try not to shoehorn all these no names and at least build the no names up a bit. And when we talk about the releases, the possibilities, bro. The possibilities are endless now. I'm sure Tony Khan is like, chomping at the bit, licking his fingers, looking at these free agents.
Bro, he can't wait to sign Tucker, bro. He's like, damn, Tucker. Tucker is my man.
Blue collar strong. Like
Okay, wait. Before I know we're gonna go dive right into it, but I really want to touch on SmackDown. Like I said, SmackDown was a show that I watched, all the way through, and they tease us, bro. They cock tease us right at the beginning of the show, bro.
What?
Damn
How?
annoying.
How?
Okay, first of all, it's very good that Edge didn't appear, Daniel Bryan didn't appear. I think it really is great that they're selling, getting owned by Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Roman Reigns came in, cut this like badass heel promo saying like, you know what? I beat these Hall of Famers. I'm done. I opened my show. Paul Heyman cut the check. Fire up the jet engines. Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool ass guy lah. And then he said like, no one wants to, humiliate themselves by confronting me. Who dares to confront me now? And then Cesaro came out. Cesaro came out and we were like, oh my god, Cesaro, yes. Everyone is like, their nuts are bursting, right, at the possibility. But then another cocktail happened. The moment he stepped into the ring, he face to face with Roman Reigns. We were like, oh my god, okay, we're gonna have this confrontation right now. And Cesaro asked for the mic, right? So he went to the side of the ring to take the mic. And the moment he went away, Roman Reigns just smirked like, I don't need this shit right now. And he just walked out of the ring.
Yeah, no, but I feel like that is very in line with his character. Like who is this guy? Like, I don't even need to,
Yeah, which is perfect because you're kind of saying like, what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
And why I like SmackDown is such easy viewing is because it keeps your attention from the beginning to the end, because the thread, like for example, something that happens at the beginning of the show, there is some consequences towards the end of the show.
Right, the payoff is at the end, because you know that Roman Reigns is not going to step into the ring and go up against Cesaro. You know that Jey Uso is going to be like the de facto guy to test him or whatever the bullshit lah. And go ahead.
But I like how they set it up because after that segment, Cesaro went to confront Adam Pearce and say like, hey, I want Paul Heyman, and then he was saying like, okay, I will tell Paul Heyman. So then the next segment was an interview with Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman said, well, you want to be in the main event? Sure, we'll give you the main event. We'll give you the main event Uso.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's very cool.
I feel like on SmackDown too, they've sort of been very subtly teasing some sort of dissension between Adam Pearce. I want to say Adam Cole. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Like Sonya Deville will step in and make certain calls, and Adam Pearce will be like, hey, why you step in like that? So I wonder if that is something that they are working towards, like somehow they'll split at some point. I hope they do, because like, isn't Adam Pearce on Raw as well?
Yeah, he is on Raw.
Give that man a break. Let Sonya Deville be in charge of SmackDown or something.
I like his personality, that he's just this nice guy that's trying to keep a hold of the wrestlers. I mean, it's different because usually we have the very heel general managers being obnoxious and trying to control the show. I like that Adam Pearce is those kind of like throwback, like a Gorilla Monsoon, or like someone who just comes in to announce stuff, tries to keep the show going, but doesn't really try to impose himself on the show. Right. And Sonya Deville, obviously, we love her as a wrestler, and I kind of wish she's back in the division, right? So I hope this is a temporary thing. So I mean, I'm fine with her like being that heelish sort of manager. But going forward, I rather have her back in the division, because you have to understand, right now, one thing I like about SmackDown as well was when Bianca Belair came out and she was welcomed to the ring by her husband and also the Street Profits as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And she just addressed the audience, and she said that, I really like the point of a promo where she said like, it's not arrogance, I just believe, it's just conviction in my own abilities, I don't want to apologize for being good.
But like that whole promo, right, that was great, they celebrated. What's next? Like there doesn't seem to be a next.
Didn't you see all the backstage segments right after that?
What happened? I might have missed it.
Well, basically, the quick reaction, they cut to backstage, and the interviewer asked Sasha Banks, so what's your reactions to that? And like how they make it very feel good. Sasha Banks was like smiling, when she was on the floor. But on SmackDown, she sold that, she was seething. She barely said, she didn't say a word. She was pissed off,
So essentially, this feud is going to carry on now.
Yes, but what was very interesting was after that, there was another backstage segment where the interviewer interviewed Bayley. So Bailey is like throwing her head in it because she's saying that, you know what, I saved WrestleMania, you know, I saved the show from those terrible hosts, you know. And then she brought out the valid point of the fact that, you know, she has been, you know, the longest running SmackDown champion.
Yeah.
She didn't even get a match. So, you know, Sasha Banks goes to the back of the line. That it's my turn now. So we might see all these three people, you know, having the dynamics in the women's division, which is cool. All great.
I mean,
right?
to be honest though, like Sasha Banks Bailey, that needs a bit of a rest right now because that has been done to death already, and they're both heel at this point. So yeah, throwing Bailey in there definitely makes sense. Bailey versus Bianca, so at least Bianca has somebody else to test herself against, right? But beyond those three,
that's why. So Deville, if she's back in the division, it would really make a difference.
Either that or they do some sort of a shuffle, bring Asuka back, take some people from NXT. We'll have to see lah. I mean, definitely, I feel like WWE post WrestleMania is in a transitional phase, setting up for WrestleMania Backlash. Not just Backlash anymore. It's WrestleMania Back. Is this their way of saying, okay, we're just gonna give you the same matches as WrestleMania?
Oh my god, that is so lazy though. That is so lazy. What interesting thing I want to bring up to you was, do you see this YouTube video of like the 3 NXT superstars who are now all the women's division champions, like having a backstage photo shoot? And like it's really, really cool, right? You have like Rhea Ripley, you have Raquel Gonzalez, and now you have Bianca Belair being all the hits. The new generation of women wrestling, right? One of them brought out a great point. I think it was Bianca Belair saying that, you know what, you guys, you all can keep your titles, keep it all the way to Survivor Series. Then we can have that triple threat match.
Ooh.
Right. I was like, yeah, man, I would love to see that.
I would have loved to see Io Shirai in there, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But then again, Io Shirai coming to SmackDown or Raw soon.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, which match would you prefer to see? Io Shirai with Rhea Ripley or Io Shirai with Bianca Belair?
Triple threat lah. For Survivor Series,
she wins back the title.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that, to be honest, like if she ever does go to the main event, I don't know if they'll even know how to use her. It'll be Asuka all over again. She'll come in, you know, they'll try to push her a bit. She'll beat Carmella and Naomi.
Oh dear God.
And Tamina and Natalia. But then after that, it's like...
Oh, speaking of Tamina, bro, do you see some Twitter drama that happened over the past week?
But what?
Like some Samoan family feud between Tamina and Nia Jax.
Huh? What happened?
Oh my god, them dramas, yeah. I don't know whether this is shoot. I mean, I guess it's half-half.
Work lah. It's probably a work.
No, it's a work, but it is a very interesting angle that they are playing.
Okay.
Nia Jax was like, you know, I'm pissed, you know, keeping quiet about this and, you know, pretending all nice and you all make me out to be the bad woman. But the fact of the matter is, everyone respects Tamina. Like the fans, my Samoan family, all respects her, but none of them respect me. In fact, they all outcast me. Like I'm the black sheep of the Samoan family, and I'm sick of trying to pretend that, you know. She said, like, you know what, Shayna Baszler has been there for me more than my family even. Yeah, it's like legit. It's like a threat. Like she really ranted.
Wow.
And then she said like, so Tamina, don't come and tell me about you know, me not giving you opportunities, blah blah blah, that kind of bullshit. Like I made my opportunities in spite of my bloodline, you know.
Interesting.
So you talk about blood is being thicker than water. You know, I've seen when my blood, you know, wasn't there for me at all. Some shit like that.
That's actually very interesting. And also, I just had a thought. What if Tamina were to join the Samoan bloodline?
Ooh, on SmackDown?
On SmackDown.
She should.
Yeah, right.
It's family.
Ah.
You know what's interesting as well, bro?
What?
Now we have Bianca Belair, right? We have Street Profits. What if Jimmy returns? Jimmy, Jay, Naomi.
Wow.
Part of Samoan bloodline.
Hey, dude. That's it.
Bro, that's a division right there, bro.
Yeah. Now you have a full-on faction.
Yeah, so it's like a faction on SmackDown, like a face faction fighting like, you know, the heel faction. But it's mid-card, but also it allows Street Profit to be in the main event sometime.
Right. Sometimes. Once in a while.
You know, hey, Usos versus Street Profit as a tag team rivalry throughout the summer, why not?
Dude, and it'll be very exciting to watch too, considering those two team style. It's just that, you know, the tag team titles are on the Dirty Dogs, who, you know, much respect to them, but what the hell? Like, they aren't really doing much with them. They are really placeholder champions at this point.
You know what? They had a tag team title match, right? Street Profits versus the Dirty Dogs on SmackDown. And Bianca Belair was saying like, hey, you know,
time for you to pick up some gold. Yeah.
Yeah. We need some gold in our house, something like that, right? And I really like that this pull the rug right under the Street Profits. I didn't make it too obvious and too easy, because you know what? I'm actually starting to like the Dirty Dogs. Like, they're growing on me. Their name is just so cheeky.
Yeah.
And they have this like 80s hairband vibes. Like,
Yes. It works. Like, it works for them, their characters. And right now, to be honest, they are there to put over young talent. So they should be putting over the Street Profits. At some point. Div Royalty mentions, did y'all see the Talking Smack segment with Bianca? She said she wanted to defeat all 4 horsewomen. Oh! Okay, so she already got Sasha out of the way.
Okay.
There's still Becky, Charlotte.
And also eventually, well, she should work through Bailey first.
Yes. Wait.
Charlotte, then Becky finally when Becky returns.
Wow. But yeah, that would be, I mean, if you go over like a few years, this is not going to be something that happens in 2021, 22, you know?
Bro, I'm imagining a WWE 2K22 storyline, man. Defeat the 4 horsewomen in a gauntlet match.
Walao eh!
That would be quite dope.
All of them will have to be healed somehow. But yeah, that would be very dope. Anyway, okay, so that's SmackDown. Before we move on to the releases, let's talk about a new addition to the commentary team. Actually,
yes,
Raw and SmackDown commentary team. So okay, when I didn't know anything about the new commentary team. When I started watching Raw, I'm like, who the hell is this fella? Like, I've heard rumors and like Dirt Sheet talk about them bringing in a new guy, but immediately onto Raw as the main guy is this guy called Adnan Virk.
I didn't know anything about him. I have no idea about his background.
Yeah.
Apparently he's a ESPN sports guy.
He's a former ESPN sports guy. He was kicked out because he was leaking information, which is very ironic.
Oh my God, WikiLeaks. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, talking about a business that has Dirt Sheet issues.
Oh my God, I tell you straight away, like, what's his name? Who's the guy who's always on the Dirt Sheet? Wade Keller.
Huh? Oh, Wade Keller.
Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer confirm start like jerking this guy off already. Like, hey, bro, you be my friend. I'll give you everything.
No, but the thing is, right? The thing is, he'll probably give all the wrong names to Dave Meltzer because this guy doesn't know the. I mean, I'm sorry, but maybe I'm being very hard on him. It's his first Raw, but it's very obvious we have another Mike Adamle situation here. As in, they brought in a guy who has broadcast experience. Don't get me wrong, and he claims to have watched wrestling, but like the fact that he can't call suplexes and. Like, okay, fine. That's why they brought Corey Graves over. So you got Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. That's a combination that already works, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this Adnan as the link guy, the guy who does all the cold reads. You know, this brought to you by Snickers and whatever bullshit. He can do that. Yeah. But when he's calling the match, you can tell like he's not really there yet or at all. And a lot of the times it's Byron and Corey Graves interacting because I think they have no chemistry yet.
They should have brought him at the show where, you know, he can feel like, you know, away from the public.
Yeah, right. I don't understand why they didn't put him on 205 Live, on NXT, on NXT UK, or all the other shows. Like
build up his familiarity with the wrestling audience first, right?
Yeah, not just the audience, but with the product as well, because it's not easy to call things that you're not used to calling. Like, he's probably called other sports, that's great. But like, you can tell he's like having to think about what these moves are, and that, you know, it makes the broadcast very like, you can't get into it. Like when you hear Michael Cole, when you hear Corey Graves, when you hear JR, okay, maybe not JR now, last time, Tony Schiavone, like basic moves they can call. This fella, I think he knows slam and suplex, that's about it.
It makes me miss Samoa Joe even more.
Oh my God. And yes, we will get to Samoa Joe in a bit. And the fact that this guy is calling Eric Ivar, on the Viking Raiders big return, right? It was damn funny because you can tell like Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, they kept saying Ivar, and then he's like Eric Ivar. It's like, no, bro, no, he's not Eric Ivar. They are both Eric and Ivar.
As long as he doesn't call them Hanson and Rowe can already, bro.
Bro, he wouldn't even know Hanson and Rowe. He doesn't know the product.
That would be quite impressive.
That would,
like,
yeah. So if he did that, then we're okay. He old school. He just forgot to switch. But the fact, I think the thing is, he doesn't really know the wrestlers or a lot of the storylines. You can tell in the way he's described. Like, there's a huge difference between him and Corey Graves. But then again, Corey Graves is the color, right? So he's supposed to supply the story, whereas Adnan is supposed to supply
Call the action.
Call the
He's
action.
Yeah,
But
play-by-play guy.
how is he gonna call the action when all he knows is suplex and slam?
And the thing is, right, a lot of people don't realize actually Tom Phillips is actually quite young, you know.
Oh yeah?
He's very young. He's 29 only, bro.
I feel bad for him. Like, he's been the guy who's been there for the company, and I don't think he's doing a bad job. He's not so outstanding, but
Yeah, but I think he's stepped up given his experience, you know.
And don't you feel like he's just very solid? Like, he's a dependable, solid guy, and I think that's the problem. He's become that role, like a Dolph Ziggler. Oh, you know he's gonna do well in any given spot. So we just put him.
205 lah.
I'm sorry, but this feels like nepotism.
I was really comfortable with the Tom Phillips, Byron, and Samoa Joe kind of combination. It got to a point where like it's very normal really for me, right?
Yeah. This is a huge jarring, not because of Corey Graves. Corey Graves and Byron Saxton have chemistry, and I know that combo because they used to work NXT. So I'm actually used to that. But this fella, look, I've worked in broadcast for many, many years. And I know, Singapore is not the scale of WWE or anything, but this reeks like, to me, someone higher up. And I believe I was reading the dirt sheets. WWE has a guy, President Nick Khan was the one who pushed to get this guy in. This smells like, to me, either nepotism or like friend. Like, oh, hey, this guy, big shot, ESPN, let's put him there. You know?
Okay, got it. So it's like someone from MediaCorp. Suddenly he go to this new company. He's like, hey, I bring my MediaCorp friend.
Exactly. That's exactly like it is. Very specific example you've given, by the way.
I just tell you where I work, man. I mean, I can only tell the experience that I know, right?
Yeah, but and apparently this guy hasn't met Vince McMahon yet. So
what? And he's calling the flagship show.
Yeah, so this to me is a huge problem, and it reeks of corporate string pulling, which I am not a fan of, and I believe that Tom Phillips has been done dirty, very dirty.
Bro, okay, you fire a Samoa Joe and you hire Adnan Virk. It's like, bro, you selling Ronaldo and buying the old fat Ronaldo.
What?
That's the best. I'm trying to give you a very relatable mainstream football metaphor for you to understand, but that's exactly what it is, right?
But not even, because at least the old fat Ronaldo has experience in football. This fucker has no experience in wrestling. So it would be selling Ronaldo and bringing in Michael Jordan, the fat Michael Jordan.
I took that personally.
But okay, we'll have to wait and see. I think I'm being very bitchy.
Like I told you as well on the days. I'm saying like, bro, give it a month. I get the Mike Adam Lee references straight. I was thinking like, oh, this guy doesn't know the product. Oh my god! But you know what? Like, his voice doesn't sound out of place calling action.
Really?
Yeah, like I can imagine him calling. A lot of the MMA voices are similar to his kind of voice, like who's the new guy, the one that's not Joe Rogan, the one that botak also.
I don't believe I forgot his name.
But he's like now he's calling a majority of the things together with the Daniel Cormier, right? They have that very, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a American style of sports broadcasting, like sportscasting.
But the problem is with that American style, it's no personality. He literally comes off as no personality.
Yeah, but you know, right, what WWE is doing right here, they are trying to get away from the wrestler experience based commentary where it's like very solid, like I say a Samoa Joe or like back in the day when it was like Bobby Heenan, where they are wrestlers, they know exactly what happens in the ring, and they want to call the action like a wrestler. They want to give WWE this very ESPN sheen, like, we are a legitimate sports entity, and for us it sucks because like we are wrestling fans. We want a wrestler. You know what? I would rather you train Drew Gulak to become a freaking sportscaster type personality for them, as opposed to getting a legit sportscaster. I mean, why you have so much talent in your company? Why not groom them or give them different roles?
No, because this guy is an ESPN guy, and you're right. They just want to look more professional. Or, bro, string pulling. Trust me on this. Corporate string pulling. Let's move on. Irvin, how are you doing? By the way, Irvin mentions that that was John Anik we were talking about. Yes, the
Joe Anik,
UFC.
yes.
John Anik, yes. But
Yes.
John Anik has been doing this for a while as well. And yeah, I know what you mean, but he has a dynamic voice. Right now, Adnan sounds very unsure of himself, but it's only because that was his first 3 hours of Raw. But I really did not enjoy the commentary. On the flip side, you know who sounded like he had respect for the business and sounded excited to call the business?
I was just about to bring his name up, Pat McAfee.
That's right. Like when you compare the two first dayers, right? I think Pat McAfee did a lot better.
Okay. And I tell you what I like about Pat McAfee and what I don't like about Pat McAfee. But it really depends on your perspective on what you want in a wrestling commentator, right? What Pat McAfee brings to the table, like you say, is energy, enthusiasm for the product. Like he's excited to call the moves. You know, he reacts like a fan to things. So like we can relate, right? But one thing that I think that might disrupt, him, like he might distract us from the product is because I can tell he's kind of still being his heelish character, right? So he might be trying to make a mark from himself. Like the commentary becomes about him being a mark. Like this is one of the reasons why I didn't really enjoy JBL's commentary. Because he a bit not that it's wrong, but he's really overbearing in the sense that he's really trying to get his character over even on the desk to the detriment of what's the wrestling product.
That's interesting that you brought that up because I thought the exact opposite. Because I remember how heelish he was as Pat McAfee on NXT. He's like, I feel like on the commentary desk, he's been told or he's been coached to not overdo it. And I think he dialed it down. He dialed it a lot, like way, way down. So I actually didn't have a problem with it. Like, you know, Corey Graves is quite good at it. Like he will chocho once in a while, but he knows not to go too hard. So...
it's a kind of conflict for me because I grew up in an era where the wrestling commentators were personalities on their own. You got people like Joey Styles,
Jerry Lawler.
Of course, Jerry Lawler is like the epitome of it, right? And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. There's one who's like calling it straight down the middle, like JR, and then there's like a crazy ass character, so you can like laugh. But you know what? The older I get, the more I liken it to Snoop Dogg calling boxing.
Wow.
You get what I mean? Like after a while, you realize that this guy just trying to be a mark, trying to snipe comment.
You see, the problem is with that analogy though is like, Snoop Dogg is a celebrity guest commentator, and you can tell, but this is like one end of the spectrum. He knows the sport, but he's marking out for himself and the sport. Whereas I feel like someone like Pat McAfee can go down. He has definitely the potential to go down the road of Corey Graves. You know, where he is a character, but he's also calling the action and he's bringing a color to what's going on to Michael Cole's play-by-play. To be honest, Michael Cole right now is handling a bit of both because he's good, you know. And a lot of people don't give Michael Cole credit. I give Michael Cole credit as a broadcaster myself, that I can tell what he's doing half the time. He's trying to bring, you know, emotion and feelings into a match, whereas someone like Adnan can't do any of that. He can't even get the names right. We
should ask our chat like which commentator they enjoy the best in WWE right now. I can tell you who I enjoy like and it's a very surprising one. It's something that doesn't really come to mind straight away. But I really enjoy his voice. I really like Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett, okay. But Wade Barrett is another one who is very heelish, kind of. Like he will side with the bad guys, you know. He does. He's a bit of a throwback.
Yeah, so he is the best kind of throwback that I like. He's something like okay, I wouldn't say he is like Gorilla Monsoon together with who's the other guy?
Bobby the Brain.
Is it Brain? Brain is and Monsoon is the one together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I keep thinking Bobby the Brain has a very high pitched voice, but actually he does have a low voice. Yeah. So Wade Barrett actually gives me Bobby the Brain Heenan vibes, but he hasn't like become flamboyantly like evolved form of
he's like this, like he's a proper Englishman, sort of a gruff guy you will meet at a pub and talk with at a pub. I personally enjoy Corey Graves as a commentator the most.
Right now.
That's my favorite.
So I think maybe for me the reason why I like Wade Barrett is because he gives legitimacy to calling the action, and also he gives a bit of character and personality that I think as a wrestling commentary you need. Like you have to have someone who can become kayfabe, and play off the character of the heels and that kind of thing.
Irvin says Ventura. It was Ventura and Bobby the Brain. I mean, not Bobby the Brain, sorry. Gorilla Monsoon, yeah.
Jesse the Body. Jesse Ventura is with Barrett kind of vibes.
Yes,
you're
right.
The other way around, yeah. But you get what I mean, right?
It's early days. We'll see where all these things lead. But trust me, I have a very good feeling that Pat McAfee will be fine. Adnan will get the Adam Lee treatment at some point. You just watch. You watch. You just watch.
You know what? I'm not gonna say yes or no. Like honestly, I can see going both ways. If he is really a fan and he is serious about this, he probably will get the feedback straight away. I think he probably got the feedback already.
Oh yeah.
And he's probably gonna like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay up the whole night. I'm just gonna memorize every single roster member, including freaking Dana Brooke. I'm gonna make sure I get Dana Brooke's name right. That kind of shit.
Yeah, not Mandy Brooke, or Dana White, or Dana.
Dana White. I'm probably calling her Dana White.
Yeah, he ESPN guy and everything. We'll see. Okay. I guess this is a nice segue to lead into, because they removed Samoa Joe, who was arguably one of the bright spots of the Raw commentary team. Right? He's now gone, and not just gone, but released. Let's get into today's topic. The releases. So before we look at this year's release, let's go back 1 year ago on the very same day. Seriously, they need to do something about that. Like, just do it one day earlier or later. Why do they have to do it on the exact same day? 4:15.
You know what? The wrestlers will be like waking up as a nightmare on this freaking day.
4:15. Just
4:15.
Don't look at their phone. Just pray that they don't get a message from Johnny Laurinaitis. Okay, last year, let's see very quickly, go through last year's releases and where they are now.
You put out a list already, is it?
I have a list in front of me right now. So
awesome.
The biggest name, and funnily enough, this year's biggest name and last year's biggest name were like the same size, same build. If you think about it, because last year's biggest name was Rusev.
Yes.
AKA Miro. And we all thought, oh, he's going to be on AEW and it's going to be so good, right? He's going to get that push. And the fucker is playing video games on Twitch, which nothing wrong with that. That's great. I do that.
Yeah, you do that too, right?
But that's his, not only is that, I mean, that's his side hustle. That's great. But why is that his gimmick? And he's just got stuck with the what's his name, Kip Sabian and Penelope, and that's it. Like, he's the best man, and his literal gimmick is for one event. Like, what the fuck?
He had a months-long, basically, built up to his culmination of his gimmick, right? Which is the stupid wedding.
Yeah, and then
the wedding was not even like a memorable wedding. And then I guess the Hail Mary, the biggest performance of his career in AEW so far is that arcade street fight thingy, right?
Which he lost.
Yeah, he lost. So basically he wasted the first year of his career in AEW, in my opinion. So,
yeah. I don't know which is better, that first year in AEW or the whole Lana Bobby Lashley thing. At least with the Lana Bobby Lashley thing, we got more audience.
Well, he cut a promo recently on Dynamite where he's saying that I'm gonna go for the title whether Kip Sabian is gonna come along with me or not. So I guess he's finally getting serious like 1 year in. So when you talk about whether he's been doing better outside of WWE, I think in terms of he's happier, yeah, sure. But in terms of whether his character is more over, I think it's less over.
Yeah. If any, like, when you jump over to the next promotion, you are going to want to make a splash. Even if you're not going for the main title, at least go for the TNT title.
Yeah.
Like, or something like that, or even a tag title or some shit. But no, he's off jobbing around. And anyway.
Do you know what? You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
He reminds me of Bret Hart going to WCW.
Yeah, a little bit. They, like, literally completely just...
Yeah, they just
mismanaged him.
On his...
I feel like, okay, with AEW, right, they really take for granted, they really assume that their audience knows exactly who everyone is. So they are just banking on the fact that Miro used to be Rusev and he can bang on his entire, career's worth of dominance in WWE. So they're like, okay, never mind, people will always see you as a threat.
The problem with that, right, is that you are just going to keep shrinking your audience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Why do comic book movies work, right? Yes, you have the dedicated fan base who's like, doing all these videos on the theories and like all the deep dives into the character from the comic, blah, 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 right? But what makes it work is at the core of it, they are really good films.
Yeah. And
Good films are just very simple plot points where you know who's the bad guy, you know who's the good guy, you know what's the conflict, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Well told.
And not just that, but also new content every single turn. They are not like looking at the Marvel Cinematic Universe going, okay, we're done. I think we can just have Iron Man job to, the next big bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to constantly come up with compelling content. And like, I don't know, maybe he was just taking a year off to relax. Maybe that is the case. Maybe it's not a case of best booker of 2020, Tony Khan, giving him shit. It's just that he's like, you know what? I just want to be in some
have fun.
half
I just
past
wanna have
six
fun wrestling,
feud.
right?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Who knows, right? So anyway, that's Rusev. 1 year on, Drake Maverick is still in NXT after he cried on Twitter. So crying works apparently.
Yeah, he cried his way back to his job, basically.
And now he's sort of like in a tag team with Killian Dane, and they just got beat up by Imperium.
He seems to be happy with his spot. So he's one of those guys who's happy to be there in WWE.
Yeah, I think so. Funnily enough, I don't know if you watch NXT, but there was a spot where Alexander Wolf of Imperium and Killian Dane had like a face-off.
Oh, okay.
Like when they were beating, like when Imperium beat up Drake and Killian, then they had a moment. Like, weren't they both from Sanity?
Yeah, they were. I think they were hinting that, right, the whole time.
I wonder if that was a hint or that was just like, callback, and it's not going to lead anywhere. It was interesting to me that they had that moment, and I respect NXT for telling these stories. Like, hey, wait a minute, they're not just mindlessly beating each other up. They have history on.
Okay, but then again, if you are a casual fan, you wouldn't catch that. So
no, but you see, they didn't dwell on it.
Yeah, so it's like a nod. Like if you get it, you get it. If not,
you don't.
It's not gonna be the basis of this entire angle. You get what I mean?
Which is what to me makes NXT really good storytelling, lah. Anyway,
okay.
That aside, next one, EC3. Alamak, this one, EC3, poor thing. His whole WWE run was forgettable anyway.
And he had 2 runs on WWE, by the way.
NXT and Raw, you mean, or just
no? Before that, he was in season 4 of the NXT game show. Derek Bateman, that was him. EC3.
Okay, anyway, poor guy. He went back to Impact Wrestling for a bit, and then I think he's now in ROH. So, I mean, he's still going to find work. He's going to do what he does.
Yeah. But of course, in a smaller audience. I mean, it's weird because EC3, you look at him, you look at his physique, you look at his... He can cut promos, we know, from TNA.
Well,
like, why didn't Vince see him and like, oh, this guy can be a star? You know? Why didn't they see that in him?
Maybe it's not about Vince. Maybe it's just he didn't mesh well with the locker room. There's always this intangible X factor. Like, to be honest, there are just so many talented wrestlers out there. And it's the same with every industry. You are not going to be the best guy. There are people who are just as good as you, maybe not as good as you, but they overlap you in like PR skills. Maybe he has no PR skills. Maybe he
rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah, rub people the wrong way, or maybe he's not reliable. This one all conjecture, like we don't know. We're just tossing out ideas, right?
Yeah.
But it takes that really special combination of talent plus the look, plus the X factor, plus mic skills, plus being able to PR. Some people call it kissing ass, whatever, to be able to succeed.
The only thing I remember from his run, right, was 2 things. One was his debut match, because it was a badass ladder match at TakeOver New Orleans, right?
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, this guy is a star. Wow. But then he didn't do jack shit. And then he cannot push to Raw. And I was thinking like, okay, Raw, let's see what's going to happen. And then his debut was a segment of what do you call it? Bliss.
Moment of Bliss. The one with Dean Ambrose, right?
Yes. The reason why I remember that was because that segment was supposed to spotlight EC3, but it made me love Dean Ambrose and like, wow, okay, this guy, why is he being underused?
Right, and that's when he called him, where's EC1 and where's EC2, which was the funniest bit. That was literally the funniest thing he's ever been in, EC3, and it wasn't even EC3 being funny. It was him being put down.
Yeah, and also I remember it because more of Dean Ambrose, right? Dean Ambrose was telling Nia Jax, okay, you got a thing for me, right?
Yeah.
I know you can't handle my raw, sexual, animal magnetism. And then Renee Young was like, oh, okay. So I was thinking like, oh yeah, right. I love this kind of shit, right?
Yeah. Referee Ryan, how you doing? Good afternoon to you. Thanks for dropping by the chat. EC3 gimmick was random for WWE, says Irvin. No Dixie Carter.
Yeah, because you can't play along with the Carter, nepotism shit, right?
It makes zero sense. So, okay, let's move on then. Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona, who showed up on AEW for literally a cup of coffee.
Yep, he did.
And then went on to Impact Wrestling, together with his friend Kurt Hawkins, who is also in Impact Wrestling.
So are they now a tag team in Impact Wrestling?
Actually, I saw something like they are feuding, like they are going up against each other. So they're friends who work with each other against each other. Makes sense.
Okay, so they're having like their blood feud in front of no one, like literally.
Yeah, both on site and on viewers. Anyway,
yeah, because like the Impact Arena, like still until now has no audience, and it's so hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard
like
to watch.
at least NXT, AEW, WWE, they moved on with video screens and some live crowd. I don't understand why Impact is not doing anything.
Bro, Impact can't afford video screens.
Bro, my PW, not my PW, sorry, the other one. Impact Wrestling has video screens, and they are, in Malaysia. They are by no means like, maybe they are bigger than Impact. I don't know, but like if they can have video screens, how come Impact cannot?
Obviously, Impact is bigger than Impact right now. Impact over Impact.
That's why, huh? So, okay, Leo Rush is next. He's kind of wrestling, like he's doing the whole territory hopping thing lah. So GCW, AAA, MLW as well.
I heard he's like an MLW champion.
Yes.
And I think now he's doing the whole like rapper, like legit hip hop artist gimmick kind of thing.
Lashley.
Yes, he came to my mind this year because he posted about Lashley when Lashley won a title.
Yeah.
A nice throwback because it brought us a throwback to our season 1 days.
Lashley,
right?
yeah. I mean, what a talented guy. Another one of those guys, like at least have him be in 205 Live, right? But I guess maybe A, he didn't want that. He thought he was destined for more, which more power to him. Or B, he didn't mesh well with the locker room.
Remember, he had like a weird Twitter feud with Mark Henry.
Yes.
So maybe he might have rubbed the older generation the wrong way. So maybe that's the reason. But you know what? You can't deny his talent.
Yep.
I think he will really reinvent himself well. I see, because he's very young. He's only like early 20s. He'll definitely find his footing and get poached by either one of the big companies going forward.
Referee Ryan says he was in the NJPW USA Cup. Also. So he's really like one of those guys that's like promotion hopping lah, free agent.
Yeah. So apparently New Japan has like a new US show.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name though. But yeah, so it's great that he's getting spotlighted there. I would love to see him in New Japan, really. Really would love to see him in New Japan. I think that would be really cool.
Let's move on. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Well, these two actually might be the most impactful, see what I did there, releases, because they stayed as a team. They are on Impact, but now they're on AEW as well.
Yeah. Well, they kind of like kept their momentum, in my opinion. Like they started the year, hey, they're gonna forever be Edge. The WWE, okay, if nothing else, right, the WWE career will always be connected with the Boneyard match. So
well,
they will
getting
always
beat
have
up
that.
there.
They will always have that. That's one thing. So like 30 years from now, if like no one is gonna remember Gallows and Anderson, they will be watching that Boyan man. They will be like, "Hey, who's those two guys? Okay, I was gonna read out about them."
Yeah.
But like you said, they've collected titles in Impact. They were the Impact tag team champions, and they are part of this whole Impact and AEW crossover. So I think they've done well for themselves. But because there is a precedent, they have always been successful outside of WWE.
Yes, New Japan being the big one.
So I'm happy for them because they are considered veterans at this point, right?
Diana Purrazzo is next. She is the Impact Wrestling Knockout champion, knockouts champion. So she never really had. Actually, she was never called to the main roster. She was just NXT. Then after that, release.
When before this, right, I always confused Diana Purrazzo with Tay Conti.
How? Yeah, they are totally different.
Okay, I mean, I know they look different, but for some reason, because like their names and like the fact that they're in NXT, I always mix their faces with their names.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but so the best thing that could happen to Diana Purrazzo was to get out of WWE, so that now I know her name properly, and I know that she's a talented wrestler, and the fact is in the pudding, right? The fact that she's now the Impact Knockout champion. Congrats to her, man.
Yeah, lah, but I mean, I don't know anyone else in the Impact Knockouts division, so that doesn't say much. Moving on, Keith
Come on, bro.
Slater, Impact Wrestling. He's now injured though, unfortunately. Remember he showed up once for that Drew and Dolph storyline?
Yeah, that was like a one-off. He came back, right?
Yeah, but he's Impact all the way now.
Okay, so I got one question. Is he swole now or not?
I don't
Is
know.
he jacked?
He's injured, so who knows?
Oh, people who are injured can come back looking swole. Just ask Jinder Mahal.
Oh, because he has all that time to work out, right?
Yeah,
And
don't
not
hinder
perform.
the Jinder.
Don't hinder the Jinder. Jinder for WWE champ.
Do you see the meme that was going around? When Rhea Ripley was crying?
Yeah. And then Jinder was behind her.
Yeah, and then it was saying, the reason Rhea Ripley was crying because she's in the presence of the modern day Maharaja.
Okay, Eric Young, Impact Wrestling World Champion. Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Is he now?
No, not now lah.
Like
But
he came back. He won on his re-debut, right?
Yeah, it's like whoa. Okay. He tore his ACL last month, so he's going to be out of action for at least like the rest of this year.
Damn, that is unfortunate. You know what? Eric Young was always to me TNA's answer to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, you're right.
When in his original run, he was really beloved by the Impact fans. He was like this underdog character.
Wasn't he the guy who came out with the Canadian Destroyer or made it popular?
The one that made it popular was this guy called P.T. Williams.
Oh, P.T. Williams. Oh, I got them confused. Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, all of them are Canadian, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, the Canadians, they all look alike, right?
Yeah, but what I love about Eric Young was he was playing this kooky, weird-ass character, and he always seems to be in the title picture. Like, he would randomly win the title against Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But then when he went to NXT, right, and he did the whole sanity thing, I thought like, okay, this is like the second coming of the straight edge society. Like, he's gonna go on the main roster, he's gonna have dope promos, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I lasted for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
After that, gone already.
Literally the most successful member of Sanity was Nikki Cross. And even then, now she's not really doing much.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, moving on then. You just talked about her, Tay Conti. She was also released last year during the cuts. She's obviously now in AEW and the number one contender. She's going to be facing Hikaru Shida this week for the title.
Yeah. Would you say that she has actually improved leaps and bounds since she's released?
I wouldn't say leaps and bounds. She has improved, but I don't think she's content. Well, then again, their women's division is so thin, so I guess this makes sense.
It's very weird because when she was in NXT, right?
Her matches were terrible.
The only thing that I remember about her was this girl is like definitely she's BJJ trained, right? She's like a black belt in BJJ, but it's like
not black belt lah, brown belt only I think.
Is it? No, she was, right? Okay, never mind. I will double check. But the reason is it was so obvious that she was trying to play wrestling.
Yeah. Versus
because of
actually
her
wrestling.
real background, right? So it's like she hasn't learned to distinguish the difference yet.
Okay, hold on. Tay Conti holds a black belt in judo and a blue belt in BJJ.
Okay, so judo, black belt, blue belt. So that means okay lah. BJJ is not really her main thing.
No,
judo is her main
but
thing.
she remember she used to wear a gi to the freaking ring and then take off the gi. I mean, look, Tay Conti. The second you look at her, she immediately grabs your attention. She is very striking. She has the look. Right? And you're right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And when she was in NXT, that was all she was, to be honest. Like, you would see her, she'd be like, whoa, she would immediately hold your attention. But then when she wrestled, well, she play wrestled. It just wasn't that good. Now, she definitely improved, but I don't think she should be up there at the world title contention.
Yeah. Well, I like her. I wanted to succeed. So... But then again, the fact that I can differentiate between her and Diana Perazzo, I think is a great positive.
She at least is not like what's his face, Arturo Huas.
Black belt,
karate, black belt, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, blue belt. Same. Okay,
oh dear God.
Let's move on then. Eric Redbeard, Rowan. I don't know, like he's only wrestled a few times, once or twice since his release, and then he made a cameo on the Brody Lee special, the tribute show. After that, like I don't know, maybe he's just like said, I'm done with this life.
Maybe he went back to the forest.
To do his Redbeard stuff.
Yeah, to do all his Viking stuff, chopping trees and shit. okay, we has come on to record, right? Like everyone has said, like among the 3 Wyatt members, like he's like the least, like the lowest of the ceilings between all 3. You know, I remember very funny because when Brody Lee was still alive, he did an interview and he said that when he first got partnered with Eric, right? He hated him. Like literally he's like a snorer and then like he sucks in the ring. Apparently he's too stiff, like he doesn't know his own strength, blah blah. And you can tell like Brody was the one that's kind of coaching him in the ring. Yeah. Even in the way that they wrestle, like you know, before some of the tag team moves, like before he whipped him into the corner, he would slap his face, that kind of thing. Yeah. So like Eric Rowan has always been like this weird ass brute. My favorite time of Rowan, right, is not the time when he hold the cage. That one was terrible. When he had the cage with the weird ass mystery animal that turned out to be a spider. No, my favorite time was when he was together with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I knew you would go there.
Yeah, because I don't know why. I think Daniel Bryan gave him like some sort of an air of intelligence by being associated together. Yes. You know who he reminds me of? It's like an X-Men character.
Who?
Beast.
Oh, okay. So like, he became more than just a brute lah. He became an intelligent beast.
Yeah, and I think there were some promos where they kind of like highlighted that he's actually a very intelligent, smart man, a learned man.
but they kind of didn't go anywhere with that. So
yeah, did him dirty lah.
Yeah. Let me go back to what referee Ryan just put on the chat. Natalia plus Renee Young equals Tay Conti. Huh? I don't get it. How does that equation work out? The Shadow agrees.
Like in terms of their looks lah.
Okay, in terms of maybe, but yeah, like not wrestling style, not character, nothing.
No, nothing to do with that. You know who she looks like when I first saw her?
Who?
She looked like BB Rexa,
yeah, like a BB Rexa,
Rita Ora
type. Yeah, you're right. So hey, there you go.
That came to my mind when I was watching BB Rexa singing "America the Beautiful." Actually.
Hey, Tay Conti, okay, you talked about Vikings. Well, here's a Viking, Sarah Logan, was released 1 year ago. And she stepped away from wrestling, and now she's a mom with, of course, Eric, also known as Eric Ivar to Adnan.
Okay. So she's raising a Viking
baby,
Viking child, basically.
Yeah, Viking child. So okay, there you go. Someone else who is raising a child, No Way Jose, who was released.
Oh, really? How you know that?
He apparently put on social media that he's gonna be a dad.
So is she still wrestling?
Not really. Nothing like mega or public anyway that we know of. So maybe he's moved on lah.
Yeah, but basically the moment you told me before, right, bro, like the moment he got saddled with this gimmick, right, he's gonna be a jobber. It's like a jobber gimmick.
No, it's like either you really make it hot with the gimmick for a while and then it dies off, or your jobber gimmick for life. And he was jobber gimmick for life, unfortunately. It's like the Adam Rose guy as well.
Yeah, bro, they should have like a team up, dream team tag match / feud. But that one will be in front of the parking lot.
All right. Mike and Maria Kanellis, they went to Ring of Honor.
And I recently saw an interview with Maria saying that she did an announcement about like there was a Women of Honor tournament or something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What a waste though. Like I really love Maria. I thought she was one of Paul Heyman's favorites, right? When Paul Heyman was the executive producer. And I thought that, that stupid gimmick where she was like embarrassing her husband was a bit dumb. But Maria as a character, as someone on the mic, as a manager, or she could have been like, she could have been sensational Sherry, her ceiling was very high.
Differalty says, No Way Jose's theme song is still one of her alarm tones. No way, Jose. No way. Oh my god.
God. No Way Jose, Fandango, and Adam Rose. Triple threat in front of the parking lot match.
Jobber match. Winner actually gets a change of gimmick. How about that? Aiden English. He has his own YouTube channel. He wrestles for Zelo Pro Wrestling. Never heard of that. So yeah, he's doing stuff.
He doing stuff. Well, how was he on commentary? Because I remember he went to the commentary and all that.
For a bit, I think it just didn't work out. Like I didn't enjoy his commentary. It sounded very stunted and disjointed.
I feel so bad because obviously he will forever be known as Rusev Days, manager of Rusev, and now both of them are out of the company. So the one that's left is Lana. Woo!
Yeah, the best one of the three. The Colognes, they are on the indie circuit.
Wow, so Gallows was released last year.
Yeah.
I thought they were released years ago, yeah.
No, yeah, but it seems like it, right? Because they've like literally never been used.
They haven't done shit, man.
Talking about haven't done shit, Cassius Ono, Chris Hero, he's doing a podcast and probably just talking about wrestling.
Wait, Cassius Ono didn't go back to like indie wrestling or NXT. I thought he went to NXT UK.
Not that for a while, and then like I don't know what happened after that. So
so he did get released last year.
yeah. Also Curtis Axel, Joe Henning.
Oh damn! I mean, okay lah. I thought Joe Henning, if nothing else, right, he would have been like backstage helping train wrestlers.
He apparently hasn't wrestled since he was released. So
you know what's weird? He was released a year ago, but Bo Dallas only released this year.
yeah, since like Bo Dallas was like, "Wah heng ah," but 1 year later. Okay, one more release from last year, and this is actually a big name release, but I'm saving him for last. You think about it, last year, he arguably is the biggest name out of this lot.
Oh well, Kurt Angle, of course.
No, not Kurt Angle.
Oh, you're talking about like active wrestlers.
No, during this release, he was
this past
released,
release.
and I dare say he is a bigger name in a different sport. The sport of mixed martial arts.
Shit, Maggie. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Dominic Mysterio's godfather. Cain Velasquez.
Yes, Cain Velasquez.
He had like one match.
He came for a cup of coffee only, lah, bro. And he was super out of shape.
The money was good, and he's like, "I'm out. Bye-bye." He probably asked for his release. Anyway,
bro, him, right, wrestling on WWE for contract, right, is the same as Ben Askren taking a shot to the face.
from Jake Paul. I mean, everyone. I don't know why everyone is like. When I posted about it on my Instagram, everyone's like, "Oh, he took a dive. It's fake." Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I think that it was like he just got knocked the fuck out. You know, this Jake Paul looks like we know he's been training boxing, and Ben Askren is notoriously shit at stand up. Like his entire career has been wrestle people to the ground, gorilla fuck them on the ground until they cannot get up. That's it.
Ben Askren didn't take the match seriously because he was out of shape, right?
But he's always been that shape. He's never been jacked, swole, six pack. No, that's not him. He's a wrestler. He will put you on the ground and suffocate you on the ground until you lose. That's his entire game. So him going into a box, and this is pure boxing, it's like
he can't even do any of that shit.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, he's doing it for the payday.
Obviously, that's obvious.
And he was like smiling. He made like twice how much he would make in the UFC, so he's happy lah.
Yeah, but like the fact that it was a joke match, and we know on his side he wasn't taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Why did people even pay money to watch this stupid fight?
I didn't. I just watched the highlights on Instagram.
It was on freaking YouTube, like maybe like half an hour after the match, like for like the whole 5 to 3 minutes that he was on the first round.
Yeah, and he got KO, KTFO. At least put up a good fight, yeah. I know, whatever. Anyway.
Okay, bro, does this mean the Paul families are doing well in life? Like Jake Paul is like freaking beating people up in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is like getting a WrestleMania payday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely have the clout, you know. Whether you like them or hate them, and a lot of people hate them, right? They are good at marketing themselves, putting them in a position to be paid, brother. Money, dollar bills.
So Logan Paul is the one that beat KSI, right?
Is it?
Like boxing as well. Yeah. I remember they had like a boxing gamer
But KSI is a rapper, right?
KSI, he's also a YouTuber.
Oh god,
bro. They are making all these weird ass celebrity money boxing matches, right? Like people are buying them, bro.
Yeah. Irvin says the event was terrible. It was just too much music and not enough actual action. Thank goodness I didn't pay for that crap. Anyway, let's move away from that and talk about finally the main topic. This year's releases happened, like I said, on the same day to the dot. What is WWE doing? And when the picture came out, I thought it was like some fake news or some bullshit, right?
Because you texted me like freaking early in the morning. Like you were up late or something, right? On Thursday night, Friday morning. Yeah. And then when I woke up, you sent me those pictures. I was thinking to myself like, what happened to Samoa Joe? Did he die? I thought he died, yeah.
Wow, Lao Choi. Yeah.
Choi. But then he something even worse happened to him. He got released.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like the question was asked earlier in chat. Who do you think actually asked for their release, and who do you think just gonna release? Okay. Let's go right into it. Samoa Joe, right? I'm pretty sure he asked for his release because I have a very strong feeling that he still has gas in the tank, and it's the same thing as Christian Cage. Right, he had gas in the tank. He was cleared, but WWE probably didn't have anything for him. If anything, he was just going to like put over young talent. And I believe that Samoa Joe believes he still has one more title run in him. He has his legacy to cement.
Maybe right, he knew right. The longer he's going to be on commentary, right, he's just going to end up becoming Tess.
Yeah. I mean, he knows that he's good at it. He's great on the stick. So it's like, okay, shit. You know, now's the time. Like, and AEW is such a great option for a lot of people. Without AEW, like, I don't think he would have left. Like, he's not going to go to Impact and be the fucking champion that nobody sees.
And also, and you're right, when you talk about asking for release as opposed to getting a release, I think WWE is smart enough not to be an idiot and fire Samoa Joe. They probably would have kept him. Yeah. But maybe they have been locked in this negotiation for a couple of months now. You know, right? Probably like he's been cleared for a while. He's been asking, hey, can I come back and wrestle full time? Can I come back? And they say, no, we want you to be on commentary. And he was like, you know what? If you don't want, then I think you should start looking for alternatives from me. Because I'm gonna wrestle one way or the other. If he's not in WWE, he's gonna be somewhere else. And that's probably where Nick kind of was like, you know what? Fine, I'll bring someone from my side. You know. So I think probably it's mutual. Like WWE won't stand in his way. Because like, as much as he's a great talent, all that, they still have other people, right? Yeah. And Samoa Joe is like thinking to himself, I'm gonna get that one more monster run. I'm gonna beat up MJF one more time.
I love it that GIF or that video of him. Well, NJF used to be in NXT. Well, he was what is the word?
He's probably like one of those enhancement talent.
Yeah, he was in a security shirt, right? And then Samoa Joe's walking to the ring, he shoves the security guy, which was MJF. So that thing has been popping up everywhere. It's damn funny.
And I love it because even MJF addressed it. He was saying like, stop tagging me in this meme. Okay, here's the funny thing. Because MJF, right, he tries to play this obnoxious, arrogant bully, right, and all that. But then when he was in that photo with Samoa Joe, he really looks like a pipsqueak compared to Samoa Joe.
He looks like damn poor thing, like kinda bullied by this big nasty guy, right?
Do you remember this movie called The Little Rascals?
No, not really.
Little Rascals like this, like all this bunch of kids, like a bit like Rugrats like that, right? And like he looks like this kid called Alfalfa, who's like this nerdy ass, like trying to act cool and badass, but he's actually like a fuck. You know, like he's just a guy that will get bullied lah. So I tell you what, it'll be so funny when he tries to act all high and mighty, and then Samoa Joe comes up from behind him, MJF, oh Maxwell,
and then puts him in a coquina clutch.
Yeah.
I think that would be the way to freaking introduce Samoa Joe, to have him come in and immediately choke out MJF.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. You know that I was thinking, right? I was sitting down one day and I was looking at all the different factions in AEW, right? Because Young Bucks did an interview because someone asking, hey, why AEW got so many factions? Yeah. And they were saying like, because New Japan has done it for years already, and like, you know, it's cool because everyone is part of something, blah blah blah. And I was thinking to myself, what if Samoa Joe comes in like a Sting, where he's just this lone ranger guy, and all the factions are trying to vie for his services. They're trying to get him to join their team. So like the first few weeks of AEW, his appearance there, right? Like Team Taz come up and, you know, try to talk him to joining. The Elite try to talk him to joining. Like basically everyone. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna join anyone. I'm just gonna choke out everyone. And then he becomes public enemy number one of all the factions.
Sure. I mean, and by the way, he owns the rights to his name. So he is Samoa Joe. He doesn't have to come in as
Joe Samoa.
Or some bullshit like that. He owns the rights to his name. So he's arguably in the best position out of anybody, I think. And plus can you imagine the new AEW Dark Elevation commentator, Samoa Joe.
He trade in Raw for AEW Dark.
Oh no.
No. Big Show versus Samoa Joe for the right to commentate AEW.
Fuck off lah. Cannot. Okay, so he's, like I said, in a good position here. Most likely he asked for this release, I'm pretty sure. WWE is not stupid enough to just say, okay, bye, we don't need you. That doesn't make sense. Next up, we have Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I'm lumping them together because I feel like they are a double act. I feel like if they moved on to a different promotion as a group, it would make more sense than just solo. Unless Peyton Royce decides, you know what, I'm going to go to AEW to be with my husband and she can be part of the Pinnacle.
Yes, this actually, right, is the one that kind of broke my heart the most. Because you know they are WWE fans.
Yeah.
Not wrestling fans, WWE fans.
Yeah.
Like, even Billie Kay put it in her statement. She was saying, like, you know, she fell in love with wrestling as soon as she saw The Rock on TV. You know, and I'm just thinking back to Peyton Royce's promo that she did on Raw Talk, right?
Yeah.
Which was really amazing, where she was talking about, you know, her potential haunts her. Why not just give me a chance, give me an opportunity? And I was like rooting for you. I was like, hey, yeah, give her a chance, man. She's doing well. You know, I think she can really wrestle and all that. And then she had that one match with Asuka, and then next thing you know, Rhea Ripley came into the picture and by Peyton Royce.
Yep. Okay, so when I look at this pairing, right, this is just obviously pure speculation, but I feel like Peyton Royce asked to be released. Billie Kay was released. What do you think? It feels like Billie Kay is more of a okay, I'll just do whatever. Like, I'm a team player. I'll just, you know.
Did you see what Kevin Dunn said about Billie Kay?
No, what did he say?
So there was something that came out on Fightful Select, where the reason why she was released was Kevin Dunn openly was questioning her backstage and talking to everyone backstage, saying that, hey, I don't get this Billie Kay. I don't see her. She has a ceiling to her. I don't see her, like, her appeal, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So he basically fired her because he just took a look at her and saying, like, you know what, I don't think she's gonna do it. Amount to anything in WWE. And I was thinking to myself, like, that is so weird, because she was on every single show on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Her resume thing that she was doing was entertaining. She is literally one of the only few female wrestlers that had personality. You can put her in any role, you know, I think she would do well.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is too, like, and this is me thinking, like, okay, I'm trying to put myself into Kevin Dunn's shoes, right?
Yep.
She's not the type of personality. It's like she's too jokey of a character that nobody would take seriously. It's like a Funaki and his backstage number one SmackDown announcer. So she kind of became that hokey role.
She has like a spot for her.
Yeah, but nothing bigger. Like, there is no, like, I can't see her as all of a sudden becoming a badass and kicking ass. You know, so she's always going to be in that mid card, lower card. Like, if she's happy to stay there, then, you know, they should have kept her lah. But
do you know who she reminds me of?
Who?
Jillian Hall.
Oh my God, yes. She's not the best looker. She's not the best worker. She's just there, and she's trying her best to do it. Don't get me wrong. The effort is there, but it's like, okay, like, you're never going to be more than mid card or lower mid card.
But why she works as a double act with Peyton, right, is because, yes, Peyton might be the one that has the looks.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that Billie Kay is not beautiful. She's beautiful on her own right.
Yeah.
But when standing side by side with Peyton Royce, everyone will look at Peyton Royce, right?
Yep.
But what she carried in the team is the charisma. I dare say, if Peyton Royce wasn't paired up with Billie Kay, right, she wouldn't have the ounce of the charisma that the Iconics bring. But it's like Iconics charisma is 90% Billie Kay.
But okay, see, here's the thing. You use the word charisma, right? And I know what you're saying. They have an appeal, but also this Billie Kay, like, we talked about how Billie Kay's character is a little bit too hokey. The Iconics are a little bit too hokey in that their whole act after a while gets very irritating. Like, I've talked to people who are casual fans who watch the Iconics for the first time and say they are the most irritating people ever. And hey, does that work as heat or go away heat? X-Pac heat. I feel like the Iconics, they are on that level. Like, they're just a very thin line between heat and go away heat. Okay,
but I would like to argue that there has been a precedent for something like this, but that has been successful in WWE. That wasn't fired.
Okay,
you know, play cool. Like, I mean,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
take the fact that the one of them is the wife of Undertaker aside, right?
Yeah, okay. You know what?
Yeah,
No, that
take that-
has no. We can't take that aside. And let's not forget. Look, at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. And you want to call it politics, call it politics. But
Okay.
that fact literally answers the whole question. Yeah, they're not going to get fired. That's the reason. And
Okay.
what more? Peyton Royce's husband is in AEW.
If Peyton Royce, so you're saying if Peyton Royce was together with John Cena, they wouldn't have gotten fired.
Oh, of course not, lah. Walao. They would be there in the main event. Are you kidding me?
That's why it pays. As much as people deny it pays to be the husband of Stephanie McMahon. Damn it.
Oh yeah, well, that one don't even need to say. Okay, Impact or AEW would be great to have them. There you go.
I would say it's gonna be obvious. Is Cassie Lee, as Peyton Royce's real name is, she's gonna appear on AEW
Yeah,
for sure.
it makes sense.
But Billie Kay, I have no idea.
Billie Kay is a bit poor thing in that.
Yeah.
If she makes it over to AEW, it's to team up with Peyton lah.
Or to become Peyton's like rebel, you know, Brie
But
Baker's rebel.
if they
you know?
break up, I think Billy's gonna have a rough one. But we'll see. We'll
because
see.
she hasn't had a chance to stand up on her own. But I believe that they are really close friends, and I
Yeah.
think they're gonna go and stay together wherever they go.
Yeah. Okay. Mickey James,
Mm.
a legend that. Has
She wasn't
been-
given a fair shot, lah.
No, her last
end of her
run
career.
was just what the hell. Like,
Yeah.
her last run is kind of like how AEW is using its legends.
She had an injury that kept her out for a year.
Mm.
And she came back, and then we all thought, oh my god, it's gonna be Mickey's comeback. Give her a title shot, let her do
Yeah.
something. She did one match with freaking Bailey.
Yeah.
She lost, and then that's it.
Yep,
Never
nothing.
see her from here again.
Yeah.
The last time I saw her was, I think probably she was like an NXT pre-show or some shit like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you know who her husband is?
Of course.
Yeah.
Nick Aldis.
So NWA
but
makes
the
sense.
thing is, NWA wasn't as big as it was 2 years ago.
Mm.
Like maybe obviously the pandemic affected their shows and all that. And I think Mickey James has history with Impact.
Mm.
So she has friends there. She has a Gail Kim and
Oh,
all that.
okay.
So she might be very enticed by playing like this veteran role / trainer role in Impact. That's
Yeah.
one thing. She has gone on record questioning the long-term success or long-term potential of AEW before. Because I remember
Oh.
watching an interview with her
Mhm.
and Chris Van Vliet, and she was Chris Van Vliet was asking, hey, so AEW, what do you think of it? Do you think it's a potential? She was telling him, saying that, I'm gonna see where this goes. I've seen a bunch of promotion startup and promise all these things, but it never really happens.
Bro,
So
once
I have no
Tony,
idea.
if Tony Khan really wants Mickey James and dangles the money, it's done. It's a done deal. And then she will be like a Taz, like a what's that? Jake the Snake, Sting, just kind of manager.
Yeah, I keep looking at Mickey James as like someone who should be on the same, like her name should be mentioned in the same breath as like Lita and Trish
yeah.
Stratus. Like she should earn the rest. I still feel even at this stage in her career, she feels very underrated.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad lah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, remember that WrestleMania where the crowd completely turned on Trish and cheered Mickey James?
Of course.
It's
But
still
I love that whole storyline, bro.
Yeah, it's still one of the biggest moments of her career. So it's just sad lah. This one, I mean, the writing was on the wall. She was literally doing nothing for WWE. Hopefully she, lands in one of these companies. And depending on what she wants to do, what's left to do in her career, hopefully she gets to get it. Let's move on then. Chelsea Green. We go from a veteran to someone with unlimited amounts of potential that was never tapped on in NXT, and she was even supposed to go to Raw, but nothing happened because she got injured.
Can I be really honest? I haven't seen any of Chelsea Green's work. I just know her name.
Yeah, like I've seen a bit of her on NXT, and it's been like, man, because she got saddled with the Robert Stone brand, which
My memories of Chelsea Green are all nothing related to her wrestling career, but like her pre-wrestling career.
which is
Okay, so there was this one time when she was in Tough Enough, 2011. But she lasted for like a few episodes. She kena injured, then she got taken out. So she's one of the girls that was like restless,
Yeah.
but then she got injured unfortunately. So that was the one, the Tough Enough with Stone Cold, 2011. So that was very early in the career. And then in 2014, if you remember, this was a very random segment on Raw or something where she played Daniel Bryan's therapist slash affair.
Right.
Like I think the authority at that point in time was feuding with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
Okay.
And then like Chelsea Green was supposedly like a plant by please correct me if I'm wrong because I can't really remember, but she was definitely, she played a character of like a therapist or something, and that was insinuated that she was
Having an affair.
Having an affair with Daniel Bryan, and then Brie Bella confronted her and smacked her or some shit like that. Well, that was more memorable than her wrestling career, in my opinion. So it's like says a lot, lah.
Apparently, she was the Knockouts champion at one point. She was supposed to have become Charlotte's protege. But I think, like, and this seems to be a theme of everything, she's just injury prone. She's gotten injured so many times, like push, injured, push, injured, push, injured. I think it got to a point where WWE is like, there's no point. She's already 30.
She got injured on her debut match or something, right?
Yeah,
she injured her wrist or something when she, and that's quite sad. And like you said, it pays to be, in a relationship with the right person, right?
Sure.
She's together with what? Zack Ryder.
Oh.
Matt Cardona.
Impact bound, I see someone might be, huh?
Yeah. So I'm just saying that, next time if you want to date either John Cena or don't date at all.
Okay, yeah, anyway. It's not, I mean, we are not saying date to advance your career. That's a terrible bit of advice. It's just be friends, with the right people.
I'm not saying that. I'm just making an observation.
Brie Bella. Nikki Bella. Anyway, let's move on. And I think the next few we can move on quite quickly. I feel like a dick for saying that, but Tucker.
I tell you, bro, this is gonna be AEW star signing.
No. Tucker is all elite.
Oh my god, it's Tucker! It's Tucker!
Who cares, yeah? Who cares?
It stings, and the new it stings.
It's Tucker!
Then after that, all the snow will come out. And Tucker was out.
And then his mom should get involved, and then they call her Mother Tucker.
Oh my god. Tucker versus Brian Cage will be something I want to see.
Who the fuck cares? Nobody cares.
Where he will fit, like gimmick wise, like vibe wise? I think he will fit NWA.
Yeah, I think so too. You're right.
He feels like a very old school territorial type of wrestler.
Anyway.
Let him feud with Trevor Murdoch.
Oh my god. Two super old school dudes. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, Kalisto, Triple A.
That is stereotyping, bro.
A bit. Kalisto, I mean, I guess he could do well in AEW. He could join Death Triangle and have three dudes in a mask and one random non-masked dude. Okay,
so here's a bit of Mexican wrestling history that I just read about very recently. Apparently, right, back in Mexico, he was called Samurai del Sol or some shit like that.
Okay.
And he had a rivalry, like a long-running rivalry with Pentagon Jr.
Oh.
So apparently, he was very celebrated in Mexico. He was like Mystico before he became Sin Cara and became Botch Cara. But like he has a legit following, So he might go back to that gimmick.
Yep.
Obviously, Kalisto is not WWE trademark, right?
Yeah.
So I think he will do okay back in America, in Mexico. Probably he's like this kind of guy like, I tried the American dream, work out for me. I'll go back to where I'm loved.
Yeah. So no issues there. Wesley Blake.
Who?
Forgotten Son.
I already forgot about him already.
Like Wesley Blake's biggest highlight of his entire WWE career is still Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss in NXT.
And it's so weird because like he hasn't done jack shit while Murphy and Alexa Bliss arguably has become like household names.
Okay, Alexa Bliss, yes. Murphy.
Hey, come on! Everybody knows Aaliyah Guerrero's boyfriend.
Aaliyah? Did you just say Aaliyah Guerrero?
Yeah, I call her Guerrero because all of them are related to Eddie.
Oh.
She's with Pape.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. I don't know. ROH, because as a worker, he's there. He's got it, right?
Wesley Blake, But that's the thing, like, he doesn't even have the indie clout, you know? You get what I mean? Like, he's literally a WWE product, like an NXT product. Like, what was he doing before WWE? Was he, like, in ROH? I don't know.
I don't know. Let me do a quick Google. Wesley.
Yeah, because if, like, you're talking about someone like Roderick Strong, if he gets fired, like, you know he got the ROH background, he can go back there. But Wesley Blake, where does he go? Texas Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, you're right, huh?
He's literally an NXT product. Like, maybe he wasn't even wrestling before that.
No, you're right. He started out as Blake and Murphy, I think.
Oh, you see?
Holy hell. Oh,
he will go to the Southern Wrestling Company.
Southern Wrestling Company.
Wrestling.
Nick, how you doing, man? Thanks for dropping by the chat. Nick says, what's up? How long till Joe is in AEW? Well, we definitely think that he's going to go to AEW once his, is it a 90-day blackout? Or was it 3 months? I forget.
Yeah, 3 months. But I heard that he didn't have the 90 days.
What?
Yeah, I heard that he negotiated to not have the 90 days.
So he can just show up anywhere now?
You probably will see him at Double or Nothing.
Joe is all elite and SPW. Irvin, we can only hope, bro. Can you imagine if he came to Singapore and he's on SPW?
Hey. Okay, so I just had this weird idea, right, in my mind, right? You know, one of the main event matches in Double or Nothing is Blood and Guts, right?
Yeah.
What if Joe comes in?
Ooh.
You know why? Because, like, basically Blood and Guts is their version of a War Games, their version of a Little Lockdown.
Yeah.
And what if Joe, well, depending whether he becomes a face or a heel, he will come and in support of one of the teams, lah.
Yeah, and join one of the factions. Hey, let's not forget the Inner Circle now has Mike Tyson as a member.
Oh my God, he chokes out Mike Tyson. Then he raises the hand of MJF. The internet will go crazy.
Yeah. But knowing AEW, he'll show up on Double or Nothing as the special guest commentator. And
He
then
will be part of the new Arcade Street Fight.
and then after that, move on to co-hosting with the Big Show, Paul White, No More BS,
AEW.
on Dark Elevation. Andrade didn't have a 90-day compete clause when he got released. Oh, but what is he doing now though? Like, did Andrade show up? What, like, do we know?
I saw he made an announcement, but the name of the wrestling company that he tagged was like really I never hear before. Like it's like a one-off indie event probably.
Irvin says AEW needs to get Scott Steiner and Kurt Angle in the same room. No, bro. Scott Steiner commentary. That's what needs to happen. Steiner math every week.
He will teach us maths the entire show.
Dude, if Scott Steiner became the commentator of AEW Dark, I would watch that show. Just for, whatever bullshit he would spout.
But you can't put him beside Big Show because later he will make fat jokes at Big Show. So. That doesn't mean you have a six-pack, you're still not fat in my eyes.
Yeah.
You'll forever be a fat fuck to me.
What promo was that?
Steiner...
Joe, right? Against Joe.
He called Samoa Joe fat. Like he kept calling him fat.
Like, because he didn't have anything else. He was like, "Oh, that's all I have."
Like, no. I think he asked Christy Hemme, who was the interviewer, would you rather sleep with someone like Samoa Joe or someone like me? And then he was like, and then Christy Hemme was saying something like this. I think he's kind of sweet. Yeah. Samoa Joe. And he was like, so you're into those fat boys, huh?
Oh my God, he's
the most politically incorrect guy ever.
Well, you can't deny that. They were giggling and laughing about it. So
okay, wait. But Samoa Joe is like one of the few fat guys that I literally like. It doesn't really play a part in like if nothing, it adds to his gimmick. It makes it even more menacing.
Yeah, like if he lost weight, he would be like, what?
Average Joe.
Yeah, and he just wouldn't, be the badass that he is.
Something about Samoan being big size just fits them. Like, you look at Yokozuna, you're like, yeah, he's big, but like you don't, he's fat. Like you're like, oh shit, he's fat.
Yeah, he looks huge. You crush you, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on then. From Wesley Blake, we move on to Mojo Raleigh, another dude that was released. Mojo Raleigh. I mean, to be fair.
I think he got released. Yeah. Because he will never ask for a release. He's happy to be there.
Yeah, and he did a lot of like outside of the ring stuff for the WWE.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Like as an ambassador. And he's always... See, it's like... I wouldn't say he had so much potential because, there was always a ceiling for where his gimmick would go, right? His like hype bro thing. And then he had a brief turn as a heel with the face paint, talking to the mirror. That was abandoned.
That lasted a few episodes already.
Yeah. Then he went back to being a hype. Remember that year he hosted WrestleMania with Gronk?
Yeah. You know what I think about Mojo Raleigh? He's probably what Pat McAfee is. Like WWE probably look at Pat McAfee and look at Mojo Raleigh and say that, you know what? We hope Mojo Raleigh will have become something like a Pat McAfee. Because Pat McAfee does everything that Mojo Raleigh can do, but brings so much more to the table. Like, the NFL background, looking like an athlete, being that sports background guy, but has a lot of personality. Like, basically, Pat McAfee is doing everything Mojo Raleigh is doing, but he's succeeding.
Yes. Well, I mean, it just boils down to the fact that I think he is slightly better on the stick. He just has the whole shmami heel thing going for him, whereas Mojo Raleigh was all like yelling and hype and
a lot of go away hit lah.
A bit. Irvin says Raleigh can go sell protein shakes on TV infomercials. Yeah, exactly. He has that vibe, right?
Yeah, he looks like he can be a parody of a wrestler, acting in Glow.
Yes.
Or heels. Like I mean, he got personality. I think he should be on TV still, like maybe as a reality TV star, Big Brother. I imagine him on like Temptation Island. Like Too Hot to Handle. Like, all these like stupid trashy reality shows.
Sure,
he got the personality for it, and he got the douchebag vibe. But like as a wrestler, he will get the go away hit lah. Unfortunately.
Nick says Joe comes into AEW and joins Team Taz. Seems like a legit fit. But the problem with Team Taz right now is so full of its own, bullshit and turmoil.
Yeah.
Like,
right? If Taz and Samoa Joe were to come face to face, right? They will be like the Spider-Man meme.
Oh, right. They will
like
be pointing
at each other.
And like both their finishes are a form of a choke out, of a rear naked choke. Kokina clutch, Taz mission.
I would love to see a Samoa Joe versus Taz dream match.
Can Taz still go?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him wrestle in years.
Right. And like, I mean, the reason Samoa Joe left was because he didn't want to be a Taz, right? So it's like,
Oh my god, it's so meta though.
Yeah, it is. Can you imagine they face off? I'm here because I didn't want to be you.
Ooh. Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
I want to see.
We already booked the first two feuds for Samoa Joe already.
No. I want to see Joe and Christian.
Have they wrestled? I think they have wrestled in TNA, right?
Yes. They have history, and of course, I want to see MJF and Joe just for the memes.
MJF and Joe just for the memes. I would love to see at some point in time Joe versus Cody Rhodes, so that you can get a kick out of it.
I hope that then Joe just destroys Cody. Yes.
He will definitely have to like beat the shit out of QT Marshall just to satisfy all of us.
Who like what? Stop. Like QT Marshall brought some boxer in, and then it was like the second. I love how they hype this boxer guy like as a legit guy, but the second you pair him up with QT Marshall, is like, okay, not legit. Like he's the. You know how they bring in legends to pair them up with new guys to lend them their shine. QT Marshall is the black hole of shine. He's taking shine away. Like, why are you tagging him to QT Marshall? Like, who? Like, QT Marshall, literally, someone has said it in chat before, looks like the guy trying to sell you a printer at Courts or Walmart.
QT Marshall is the guy that moonlight as a wrestler on the weekends while he works as a full-time teacher.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, this does not work. Anyway, sorry. Huge tangent. Nick wants to see Mojo Raleigh host a game show like The Price is Right. Come on down! And then he's like ultra hyped.
Yeah. I can imagine that because didn't he one time was telling Michael Cole to get hype?
Yeah.
And then he like ruffled him like damn crazily.
Yeah.
And then got Triple H beside him.
Yeah.
A very poor thing like he had the personality to succeed in WWE, but he just didn't find the right role for himself.
I think that once again, his gimmick just had a ceiling. And maybe it's not that the gimmick had the ceiling, but the writers didn't know what to do with it. Nor did he know what to do with it. At the end of the day, they can suggest stuff, right?
Maybe if there wasn't a pandemic and Rob Gronkowski did sign with WWE full-time, They could have been a tag team.
Yeah, they could have.
They probably would have. That would probably have been the story going forward.
With Mojo doing most of the heavy lifting lah. So, that's it for the releases. From what I've read, that there could be more coming in terms of NXT talent. So, let's just pray that our good friend Boa isn't on the chopping block, because he finally has a gimmick that is interesting.
I think Boa is safe. You know, if nothing else, I will worry for Drake Maverick Part 2.
Oh my god! And then he cries on Twitter again and gets his job back again.
Yeah, he thought he would get away with it. It's like, nope. 1 year later.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
I really wish there was a draft, because I think it would have really, shake up the roster a bit more.
Yeah.
Superstar shake up. But I guess it seems like they didn't hint at all that there's going to be anything. So it's just going to be a lot of build towards rematches for WrestleMania Backlash, I guess.
Right. Oh, Referee Ryan, thank you. I totally forgot one more fellow.
Who?
He's so forgettable and not doing anything. And everyone has said, this guy is so talented, why isn't he doing anything? You know who we're talking about?
Didn't we just talk about him, like Bo Dallas, right?
Yeah. We forgot to mention Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is another one who just got released. So
it was so weird, because actually some people were even speculating that he was the one wearing the Fiend costume at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because he looked so much thinner, right?
Yeah, slimmed down. So, Bo Dallas, I mean, you talk about him going from Bo Leave to B Team. Like, he's tried his best to make these gimmicks work. And I didn't necessarily hate these gimmicks. It's just that the writers had nothing to do or had nothing for them.
If you guys watch early NXT, right? Bo Dallas was one of the most over characters in NXT. Like, he was a freaking NXT champion.
Bo Leave!
Yeah, and like I remember something like when the crowd was booing him, he was saying like, don't boo me, say bully or some shit. He's basically crapping on the audience like in the most sadistically smarmy, sarcastic way, and it was so entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point that Irvin brings up. Rollins' gimmick is kind of like a refined version of the Bo Leave gimmick. Yeah, like this is that fine line, like. We talked about the Iconics being almost like a parody, being irritating. I think maybe the Bo Leave gimmick was kind of there. If he dialed it back and made it more cerebral, maybe it would have worked out for him a little bit better, especially on the main roster. But I mean, he had already been talking about there were the rumors and dirt sheet, a speculation that he was basically preparing for life after wrestling, like getting his real estate license and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard that he was getting a real estate license that you mentioned, and that he's actually starting that career already on the side.
Yeah.
So he might step out of wrestling.
Yeah, maybe he already had one foot out the door, and he was like, you know what? Actually, in this case, I would believe that he requested for his release, because he's like, all right, I'm literally not on any show. I'm not even on main event, so I'm out. And
he hasn't wrestled since 2019. So I'm surprised that he wasn't released in 2020 together with Curtis Axel. They shed the bait on the potential of him teaming up with Bray Wyatt so many times. He could have joined them when he was part of the Swarm Gang.
Yeah.
He could have been part of the 5-5 Funhouse.
Yeah.
None of that happened.
Dude, he can be like the Fiend, they could do a Fiend versus Fiend thing. They could do, you know what I mean? They could have gone so many ways with this. I don't know why they completely just looked at him and went, nah, we got nothing.
WWE, once again, misusing their roster. So.
Speaking of the Fiend, and we'll wrap up. Let's wrap this up. Any other things you want to bring up as it relates to the releases? Also, Terrence, how are you? By the way, it's good to see you.
Hey, hi. We are about to end the show. I'm so sorry. But I think a lot of us will just be, looking forward to AEW. Not because of the show, but like who's going to appear on the show from WWE.
Yeah.
There's some talent is going to be picked up.
Yeah, at least one or two. These guys and gals are not going to just go to Impact or disappear.
But my question is, when is AEW going to start releasing talent? Because you can tell that their roster is getting bloated by the day.
Yeah. It's
like come on. Peter Avalon. Release him already, bro. Cut him out of his misery.
But the thing is with AEW, it's becoming like a WCW where everyone's friend is, people are getting in because they're friends with so and so, and they're like, oh, I don't want to release them. And plus, Tony Khan, he got the dollar bill, so I don't think they care.
Next thing you know, a new AEW dark commentator, Adnan Virk.
Oh God, Lord. Good. Let Adnan Virk go there. I cannot stand him on Raw. Irvin says his father is the tax man and his brother is a demon. Talking about Bo Dallas. Yes, his dad is IRS and his brother is the Fiend. I mean,
it's the movie in itself.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine that? That could have been a gimmick all to itself. So,
one more thing I wanted to add, because I was just talking to you as well, right? That there is a wrestling biography series out right now, headlined by Stone Cold, and it's done by this channel in the US called A&E. Apparently, it's getting rave reviews. I mean, I was looking at Twitter and all that. Like, it's apparently the best Stone Cold documentary done.
Hopefully
ever.
we can watch it on some sort of a streaming platform at some point, but because as a wrestling fan, we definitely are interested in something like that. Irvin says they released Ivelisse and Leva Bates, by the way. Yeah, I mean,
they
AEW
released Blue Pants.
Yeah, AEW has had a few releases, but none like in this fashion, like a culling.
Yeah, like a full cut of like the roster. There was a time when they release Jimmy Havoc or something because he was part of the Me Too stand up movement.
Yeah, because that one, they had done something bad, so they were like, okay, we can't associate with this individual.
I think AEW needs to start cutting talent actually. Like they really have a lot of people that's not doing jack shit.
They got money.
Nah. You want to have a lot of money also, like come on lah. Like they are supposed to be smart businessmen, right?
Okay, sure.
Like Sonny Kiss. Like I mean Sonny Kiss is a great like so-called representative for being black and gay, right? But it's like not doing anything.
Nope, he's on. Is he even on Dark? I'm sure he is.
Probably. We've still joined the Janela.
Yeah.
Who also not doing anything.
But they're friends. We go back to the whole relationship thing, right? And even more so, this company AEW is built on, hey, you're my friend, come. QT Marshall, you're my friend, come. You get an upper mid card role. So
the fish is QT Marshall.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we've talked too much about QT Marshall. I feel like we're bullying him.
We're giving too much attention, too much limelight.
Okay. I mean, with these releases, just means hopefully more opportunities for some of these wrestlers who never got their shine. And if anything, it will make AEW interesting. So it's exciting times for us wrestling fans. I very quickly want to touch on The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, because what happened on Raw? Okay, so after The Fiend lost and everyone was like, oh my God, this is shit. They done The Fiend dirty again, right? But then there were some people who are like, okay, let's see where the fallout lies. Like, what happens after? Where are they going with this? What's the story? Maybe it's compelling. After Raw, I got even more pissed off. Because Alexa Bliss essentially said, oh, I don't need The Fiend anymore. We've broken up. And I have a new puppet. And that's it. Like, huh?
Yeah. But what was worse than that was his reaction at the Firefly Funhouse saying that it's a new beginning. Yeah. Like they literally just, okay, I'm going to move on from this.
Yeah, so what? Now we have two Fiend, like evil character, like supernatural characters.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. You know why? When people did Bray Wyatt dirty, right? He always says that he always comes back to, have revenge on them. Yeah. Right? All the wrestlers that hurt him in the past, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This woman just broke his heart and like caused him a match at WrestleMania. Why isn't he like coming on tour with a vengeance? Like, if you want to really follow the logic of that story, like.
But even her breaking up with him makes no sense. It's like, I just didn't need him anymore. Like, okay, I guess maybe it has happened in real life before, but at least play it out and have her show signs of breaking up. That kind of thing. Like, there's literally. Like, oh, suddenly I'm just not into you anymore. Bye. I'm ghosting you.
Why couldn't they have done this on Raw? Do the breakup angle on Raw. Get Fiend the victory. And then he's celebrating with the world, like a crazy celebration.
And then
on main event.
Yeah. And then she does something weird.
Yeah, and then at the culmination of it, Alexa Bliss just backstabs him or something.
It's a very weird thing because they built this for so long. It has it's not like this thing is like stale and old, Yeah. If anything, you just hit the peak. he's back. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then what? So they can't feud because he can't have a match with her, right? So is she going to move on, and who's she going to feud with? Now she's the female Fiend.
The problem is they made WrestleMania a continuation of a feud that it should have been a culmination of the feud.
Yeah.
It's WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. Now I think they really shit the bed with Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt.
Do
and
you
this whole
think
thing.
the Fiend character is done? Like, I can't believe in the Fiend. Like, do you think like the Fiend in terms of like believability, like they still take it seriously? Do you think he can bounce back from this?
I think, I think it's tough, man. It's never say never. But
Okay, when Goldberg happened, I thought the Fiend was dead. But then Firefly Funhouse saved him.
Yeah.
And then he gave him momentum for the rest of the year last year.
And then this happened. Okay, if anything, credit to Bray Wyatt for being able to continually bounce back from just shocking defeat after defeat after defeat and still making himself relevant.
Yeah, that's true.
But this time, right, like it's even worse because Alexa Bliss completely took his gimmick. And if he's going to move on from the Fiend, let's say a new beginning, Scully, he wrestles as his Uncle Roger's character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no more Fiend. Then what? So
What makes him compelling? Nothing.
yeah, so essentially you gave somebody your gimmick and you just become some Uncle Roger's character. Creepy. That's your thing. Like, it just, none of this makes sense.
Do you know what I would have loved? Because you see, right now, the Fiend doesn't talk. He just wrestles or he just acts scary and all that kind of stuff, right? I hope that the next evolution of his character is having the Fiend be able to cut promos as the Fiend.
Right. So, okay. So it's
like a
almost
Kane
as if, yeah, exactly. I was about to say, because Kane, when he first started, he was this silent monster with Paul Bearer. Undertaker, same thing as well. But at some point, they needed to cut their own promos.
Yep.
So I thought that actually that could have been the way they went with Alexa Bliss and the Fiend. Like Alexa Bliss would cut the Fiend's promos until the Fiend started cutting promos. Then Alexa Bliss can go on and do something else, whatever. But it's like, and also Alexa Bliss debuted a new like puppet, right?
Yep.
And the whole puppet thing is his deal anyway. So it's like you are really ripping off everything he's doing, and it's like it's not as if it would make sense if she all of a sudden brings in a new monster. Let's say Daba Keto is now some demonic monster, right?
Oh no.
Can you
Daba
imagine?
Keto.
Yeah, or somebody, or Omas. They bring in somebody new to be the new monster to feud with Fiend. So this has happened before with The Undertaker, Paul Bearer, and Kane. It's like Paul Bearer brings in a Kane to beat up Undertaker. It makes sense. In this
like
case,
a Mankind or whoever.
she's brought in nothing. She's brought in a puppet.
You know who I thought that came to my mind? Somebody who had the same bill as the Fiend.
Bo Dallas?
No, not Bo Dallas. Like, someone from NXT lah. Like if you can bring someone damn random that wasn't doing shit, but then build him up.
What about Lars Sullivan? What the hell happened to him?
He got released lah, bro.
Yeah, I know.
He got released. I was thinking somewhere along the lines of like a Bronson Reed or like a Killian Dane.
Okay.
Like someone with the same size, but also quite menacing, you know?
Here's an interesting theory that Lavin brings up. What if the Fiend is like a symbiote, like the Venom symbiote? It left Bray Wyatt and has taken Alexa Bliss as the host now. So the evil transfer, so now Bray Wyatt is happy Bray Wyatt lah.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. You know what? I'm not opposed to it.
Yep.
Like we just want compelling, smart storyline that allows us to speculate. You know, I'm a huge fan of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I watch every single episode, right?
No spoilers. I only watched the first episode so far.
Okay, cool. You will love it, bro. Like why I love Marvel, right, is that they have backstory, they have history, they know how to use it and still push the narrative, the plot points forward. And if you are like a super huge comic book fan, you get value added in your enjoyment of watching the thing.
Yeah.
Wrestling has the same potential because wrestling has years of history, years of like past rivalries, you know, all this backstory, and we as long-time wrestling fans, we can appreciate all these callbacks, but you have to use it in such a way that it pushes the narrative forward.
Yeah.
They could have done so many things with the feel, like literally, right? Like if they for example, they didn't get rid of Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is the Alexa's new so-called monster or what, right? But Bo Dallas also have a split personality. He can play the believe, like happy, like a parallel to the Uncle Rogers, Mr. Rogers character. But then suddenly he also has this sadistic, like crazy ass zombie side to him also. And then they feud. It becomes like Undertaker versus Undertaker SummerSlam 94.
Or modern day Undertaker versus Kane lah.
Yeah.
Similar but different. So that ship has sailed. Bo Dallas is gone. So
I have no idea how to rescue the Fiend right now. Like how to give him back his
shine. I think the Fiend is good and dead. Like literally and figuratively, good and dead. He
even Randy Orton move on. Even Randy Orton say, I'm done. I already beat him. I'm gonna go back for the title.
Yeah. So. What is it? Did IRS piss off Vince McMahon? So now his sons are paying the price.
I almost think that WWE has something against Bray Wyatt. Like they never let him succeed.
Yeah, they don't outright like crush him. Like he's succeeding in spite of the WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then that makes me feel sad. Like it's like, why would I want to support a losing horse? Like I will support because of like I feel sorry for him. It's like me becoming a fan of Everton or like freaking like one of those like relegation teams. You love them because maybe like my parents grew up in this village. And like this football team is like my parents' favorite football team. Even though they always lose. Yeah. Like for example, Elton John is like a what do you call it? What do you call like a lifetime owner, because he's like a long time fan and they let him become an owner.
Like a what? An honorary owner?
Yeah. He's like an honorary owner of this football team called Watford.
Oh God, Watford. Okay.
Yeah, but apparently because he was from that area, the Hertfordshire area or whatever it is. He even has a stand named after him. Like in the stadium, there's a Sir Elton John stand.
Yeah. He's a big name. Yeah, huge.
Yeah, but like. It's a relegation team lah.
Yeah. Irvin says no lah. They paid so much for his stuff already, so they can't get rid of him.
They can't get him, but they can make him suffer, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably sold a lot of his merch already, so now he can move on. And that's the thing, the beauty of a Bray Wyatt. If he comes up with a different character, they can create new merch. Maybe they're like, this fella got a lot of ideas. It's like toys, right? The toy industry, they keep churning out new characters, not because they want to create new characters, but because they want to sell more toys.
Like I said, the Fiend itself, the character can stay, but just change the color palettes of the costume.
See, that's why I thought the Cao Ta Fiend would stay for a bit longer, but no, he had to walk through the hallway of healing at WrestleMania and be healed.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird lah, bro. Like I know that this is WWE's way of keeping that supernatural gimmick for this generation, and I love his homage to Kane, Mankind, Undertaker, and all that. But I feel like he doesn't have enough people to play around with. You get what I mean? Like he doesn't have a cast of characters. Like Undertaker had Kane, had Mankind, had Vader even. Instead of killing the Fiend, why not build multiple supernatural-like characters and gimmicks to play around the Fiend? And then the Fiend can have this own weird side of Raw where it's all supernatural and creepy.
They have Alexa Bliss, who's completely consumed the Fiend's powers now, apparently. She sucked the Fiend's power out of the Fiend.
But problem is, like you said, like she's a girl, and you as much as you want to see like intergender wrestling, like you don't want to see the Fiend versus Alexa Bliss, right?
Yeah, it's not that I don't want to. It's like it won't happen, not in PG WWE, right? So what, is she just going to run roughshod over the women's division?
I think she should. I mean, like if you really want to grow her character, she should. Like now in her crazy ass, like I would love to see her fight Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. And then she can mind game the shit out of Rhea Ripley. Maybe that could be the first feud. And then Nikki Cross is still there trying to switch her back to the good side.
I still believe in having a Nikki Cross / versus Alexa Bliss rivalry.
Yeah, blow off. Yeah, but Div Royalty also brings up a good point. What is that going to accomplish with her as the new Fiend? She looks cool, but is it really sustainable in the women's division? The women's division doesn't need an Undertaker.
Here's my silver lining, like thinking, into my theory. Maybe Alexa Bliss was telling management like, hey, I've done this 6-month deal or 1-year deal with the Fiend. Let me get back to wrestling again. Can I wrestle in the women's division again? Now I have a great character. Now like all my old rivalries can be renewed with me being this so-called Fiend-esque character. Right?
Yeah, different character Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this was her telling or asking management or talking to Bray Wyatt, say, hey, now I have this gimmick, hey, let me go back to wrestle.
Okay, see, that's fine. But here's the thing. She can still go back and wrestle, still be associated with The Fiend. But the thing is, they've broken them up. And not only did they break them up, she's taking her, like, his puppets and all that stuff. Like, she has her own puppet now. It's like copy paste.
He took the gimmick.
Like, I feel very weirded out about that. Like, why are you taking exactly what he did?
My greatest disappointment about the whole thing is the fact that we thought that the booking of this match was idiot-proof. It's like, come on, WWE, give us, it's predictable, yes, but like, we all want The Fiend to win.
Finally, yes.
And they can't even do that. They had to swerve. I think WWE really was like, because I heard reports that on the day itself, only on the weekend itself, that the whole time it was supposed to be The Fiend winning. But then last minute, Vince McMahon changed it because they were planning to give Randy the victory so that he can have time off after that. But to me, it doesn't make sense.
No,
it's like,
have him lose and then give him time off. What?
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, you know what? WWE just wanted to swerve the audience.
Yeah.
They know that it's super predictable. They're gonna do something weird ass instead to like continue the story.
And not only did they do that, but they painted themselves into a corner because now you have what happened on Raw, which was shit.
I mean, like as a Randy Orton fan, I feel bad for the Fiend. So that's that.
Yeah, as an Alexa Bliss fan of Bray Wyatt, is fan of Randy Orton, I feel like this whole thing was just, it left a sour taste in my mouth. And moving forward too, where can they go with it? How can they rehabilitate Bray Wyatt?
It's so weird because like we are fans of everyone involved in this feud. Like you said, love Randy Orton, love Bray Wyatt, love Alexa Bliss. Not a fan of Ryan Cabrera, but like, you know, I put up with him.
What the hell? Nothing to do with anything, bro.
I just had to add that because like, very hard to see Alexa Bliss with Ryan Cabrera.
Wow, like if they wanted, look, if she wanted to wrestle more, then just have her go for the championship. Why?
As the Fiend associated,
Yeah, why not? Have them both be a dominant couple. Why not? I think that's pretty cool. But no, she has to now have her own puppets. And anyway, like it would make sense if she turned on him to go with somebody else. Like maybe the demon Finn Balor comes back. And,
that would have been dope.
Yeah, like, I like this Fiend better because he got abs.
You know what would have been super dope?
What?
Okay, imagine Alexa Bliss cut the exact same promo on Raw, but then when she turns around, instead of the puppet sitting there, it was Finn Balor.
Yeah, but in demon form.
Or I mean, I wouldn't want it in demon form straight away, but it will be Finn Balor, but instead his eyes turn black or some shit like that. like just hinting that he's bringing back his supernatural gimmick.
No, bro, just him and his thirsty abs.
Oh my god, and then Alexa Bliss just touched his abs up and down.
Then he's like, yeah. And then they throw back to that one time she was flirting with him on A Moment of Bliss.
Oh my god, you know what would be so funny? And then,
so the reason I broke up with The Fiend because I'm thirsty for Finn Balor's abs.
No, and then Scott Steiner on commentary. and Scott Steiner said, of course he chose Finn Balor. Look at his abs. Like, you fat ass Bray Wyatt. You deserve it. You don't deserve Alexa Bliss. Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay. This is Vince Russo school of booking stuff right here. Look, every week we are like, okay, you know, this is gonna be a short episode because isn't much happening.
We got nothing to talk about.
And then after that, 2 hours later, we're like, okay, there was a lot to talk about. But that's the beauty about pro wrestling, right? Be it in the ring, the in-ring product, what we see on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Dynamite. I was gonna say Elevation Dark, but nobody watches that. I'm kidding. People do watch that. But not just inside the ring, but outside the ring, there's so much to talk about. And as always, bro, it's been fun. It's been a fun 2 hours. In chat, thank you so much for hanging out as well. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for your input. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts right now, thank you for downloading the podcast. As always, please follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, on Instagram. Yes. Come subscribe to us on YouTube as well.
Guys, please also do us a favor and like the video. If you're listening and you're on chat, please like the video. That will really help us as well.
That's right. Let your fellow pro wrestling fans know about us, of our live stream and whatnot. And yeah, we're gonna do this on a weekly basis on Mondays from now on, 12 noon. Let us know. Give us feedback if you would rather us go back to a Friday or whatever. You know, what's better for you, or is Monday better for you if you're just kind of chilling on a Monday, you know?
Yeah, and also going forward, we're going to try to because we were having a conversation, we're gonna try to have like more topical subjects as we approach our episodes. Like we try not, I mean, we'll still do our reviews, review episodes of Raw, Smackdown, AEW, NXT, see whatever happens during that week of wrestling. But we're gonna try to make the focus more on a main subject. So this week was, of course, talking about the release of the wrestlers, right? It will help more facilitate discussion and discourse.
Absolutely. All right. As always, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. It is Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building. Take care.